That's for Israel. Wonder is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they sip pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock it, twirl somewhere orbiting. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature that mean extorted it. They forging it. If news anchors informants who informing them, there's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this: we porting ships, important gifts. Of course it is, what extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks. We ignoring which informant this, informant this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they sip with pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder is it real? In a world. What up, Familia? Thanks for kicking it. I know it's a late stream. Hopefully you guys can hear the audio and everything's good. I wanted to kick with you guys. I know it's been a while. So sorry it's late. I won't be super long. It's already midnight here. But yeah. I saw what Bryant caught up in the ether field. Whole world crumbled. Wonder is it real? Bars. Mr. Anderson's got some bars. So yeah, I titled the stream Expert Advice. We're good over at Rockfin. We're good. So yeah, we did a little debate last night. To be fair to the guy, it was 4v1. And he's defending something that's not really defendable. But yeah, he was a good sport overall. Bryant. So Bryant Myers, leading field expert in pulse electromagnetic therapy. I think he's a good intended guy, honestly. And it was me and Hibbler and Dave and Jaron. So I figured we just kind of talk about not some of what happened. You guys can go check it out. I'll drop the link in the chat if you haven't seen it. But he's a BS, MA. Physics, used to teach. Yeah, he came to show us how we were wrong, and the Earth was actually a globe that spins in a vacuum. And I don't think it went as planned for him. I don't think just because it was 4v1, but you know, it's hard to defend that side. Let's be real. It's not an easy position to take.
So we're going to cover some of it, and then I'm going to kind of cover the general sentiment about it. I'm just going to kick with you guys. Like I said, I just wanted to say what's up because we went to New York City because Kai had something there for her job, like an annual meeting thing. And I kicked it with my boy Eli when I was there. He's on 24/7. You can find him on Earth Awakenings on Discord. That's my homie. So we got to catch up a couple days, a few hours each day. And it was cool. I don't like New York City. From 1 to 10, I probably like New York City like -5. I can't stand it. It smells like piss. It's dirty. There's trash stacked up everywhere. It's just disgusting. It's a bunch of concrete and death, and I hate it. But whatever. So I've been out of commission. We got back late Wednesday. Then I had that debate yesterday, and so I figured I'd kick it with you guys. I was working on some stuff here. I had to like clean out and redo the chicken coop and blah blah. I think I'm gonna set up a PO box here soon because people are asking. I will set up a PO box. People are also asking me what I would want sent in the PO box. So I guess if you guys send letters, I'll read them off. We'll have like a little section of a certain show, maybe once a week, where I read all the letters that you guys send in the PO box. Try to keep it respectful and not cussing, not filled with a bunch of cussing, please. Same old rules. I just think that they're weak words, as Owen Benjamin calls them. Like, I think, ironically, he cusses quite a bit, right? But I just think we can do better than cussing a lot. And that's my opinion. I think that they're like filler words. I'm not like judging you morally if you cuss. I just think that you can do better. All right, anyway. And yeah, I threw the thing on there, support what you like or it goes away. You want to help a brother out. If you guys don't know, I won't cover this too long. I know people don't necessarily like to hear it, but I am currently trying to do this full time to see how it goes. This being streaming pretty much every day, doing different interviews, different debates, having different guests on. Not working out so great, to be honest. So we'll see how it goes. If people rally behind me and can help support the channel financially, then we'll keep it rocking out. I'm not going to like hold my content over you or something, but I'll still try to do something if I can, but I'll have to figure out something else if it doesn't work out financially. Owen plus Wizard stream would be full of gravy. Yeah, that would be cool. I'd like to do a stream with him. That's my homie. Well done. Thank you, Dr. Bill. I appreciate it. So we're going to watch a little bit of it and kind of react to it. This guy in the bottom left here. You can't see my mouse, huh? Yeah, anyway, so he's an expert in the field. Keep rocking, brother. Crumb and I making it funny in a bit. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, that debate. Oh, I don't know exactly what you're saying, but what's the deal with Eric Dubé these days? Don't know. Don't keep up with him. Anyway, yeah. Oh, yeah, and dude, I had like these crazy little fraudulent attacks on my card today. Really kill my vibe. Really like kill my vibe, bro. How dare them? I look at stuff like this like it's a sign or something. I'm like real woo-woo like that. I think everything's a sign. All right, so we killed about 10 minutes. Let some people get on here. So yeah, that kind of killed my vibe earlier. I didn't like that. Really messed up the little that I did have in my bank account. Just took it out. And I'm just triggered. I'm low-key triggered. But I'm not that, man. Like, I don't like to get attached to money. I use this analogy a lot just for anyone this may resonate with. Money, I look at money like the little door you walk in a hotel that's like revolving. It's just like a cyclical thing. like energy. It's like perpetual energy, right? And like understand it like that. And so it comes and goes. Give it to people. Be selfless with it. You know, it's just hemp paper that's only got value because of the power and energy you put behind it. That's why it's called current. Let's see. Oh yeah. All right, cool. Let's get into it. I don't want to bore you guys with that. I just want to let you guys know, if you would like to support the channel, that would be great. Because if you don't support what you like, it goes away. Also, go to flatearthfestivals.com. Flattoberfest is late next month. I will be speaking there and performing some music. There's a bunch of other legendary speakers and guests, and you'll get to see a bunch of cool, like-minded people. And it really, if you've never been, it's really a cool experience. It really is. I told Kai that it was like, it's pretty much hard to explain, but trust me, you'll like it. And she did, because it's just this crazy vibe. It's almost like, it almost sucks to leave, because you're like, whoa, I'm around so many like-minded people. This is what the world should be like. And you can feel the power in that, like when you're with a bunch of truthers, because it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just something crazy about it. So if you guys are near South Carolina or maybe could make it out, it is worth considering, because I actually do encourage. I think it's super good for people's vibration and to kind of recharge you and stuff like that. All right, anyway, moving on. Let's check out some of the stream that we did. It was pretty hilarious. Oh, by the way, so I'm supposed to be, it makes me smaller. That's a trip. I guess I'm supposed to, this guy wants to debate me 1v1 now. So I guess I will be debating this BSMA physicist 1v1. Austin be killing it. Thank you. What's good? What's up, Black Royalty MGMT? Yeah, I'll be debating him 1v1. He wants to debate about gravity and spin, as in like the earth spin. I'm like, okay, man, you know, you tell me when. He said, how about like a month? I'm like, all right, if you need a month, whatever. So looking forward to that, I suppose. And I have a few other people with some credentials I'm going to try to get on, because I think it's really good. And that's why I labeled this expert advice. I wanted to touch on it. Talking to people with credentials, PhDs, you know, in astrophysics or whatever it is, physics professors, like, it's good because it kind of, it exposes that illusory idea that, those of us who know the Earth's not a globe, and we know the Earth's a plane and it's stationary and contained, the idea that we're like stupid, dumb, crazy people, all that, it really blows that out of the water. Because that we all know, of course, if you're here, you may know. Will Bryant be speaking? No. Not on this show. No. He said he's going to debate me 1v1 at some point in the future. Will he be speaking at Flattoberfest? That is for sure no. More debates with people with credentials, please. Yeah, like I said, I do plan on doing that. If any of you guys think that you have someone that you know that's like a professor or a scientist or any type of like professional that would like to have an exchange, hit them up, try and contact them, see if they're down to come on and have a conversation about the Earth or a debate. Yeah, and we'll do it. I think that we give too much energy to anti-flat earthers and capitulate to their nonsense, when the truth is they need us. And we should just talk to these people that have intellectual reputations and responsibility, because even in the worst scenario where people fight it like that guy was last night, they still have some aura of intellectual respect, and they actually address the questions asked usually. And you'll be surprised. Fallacies come from all angles. But so yeah, we do. That is the plan, is like I said, I'm trying to do this full time. I really need like financial stability for it, because I really haven't gotten it yet. I haven't been back on yet very long. So, but because I've ran out of like whatever I did have set aside, and I have all these different bills, and I have a baby coming. If you didn't know, yeah, Kai is due December 26th. So obviously that's going to be priority. But anyway, all that just to say, in the scenario that it does all work out and we have people kind of rally behind the channel financially, then that's what I plan on doing, is like full-time setting up like weeks in advance. And like, I'm going to make a website where my calendar is publicly available. So you can go to the calendar and you can be like, oh, Austin debates this physicist next Wednesday. Oh, Austin's having this guest on next Thursday. Oh, Austin's going to be on this podcast and this podcast and this podcast next week at these times. So you guys can kind of keep up with what's going on. And the idea is that I'm going to kind of make my rounds as much as I can and get the earth out there, the truth about the earth and other things, kind of full time. That's the idea. So there you go. All right, without further ado, let's see what this is pretty funny. So we're just going to watch a few minutes. I'll kind of comment on it. And I think I dropped the link. I don't know if did I drop the link? I honestly don't remember. I'm like already tired when the stream starts. The electrostatic potential of Earth changes due to the shape and how electrostatics permeates from the surface. Since sharper the angle, the more potential will be released. Check them out. I'll have to do a show on my man sometime. All right, let's do it. Let's do it to it. You guys tell me that you can hear it just to make sure. And I'll have to find where we are, where we start talking. Like, so for pretty much the first like hour and a half or so, I didn't really say anything. I was just kind of waiting until the gravity thing. And I will say, like, we had some comments back and forth because I guess one of the funny parts was he's like, I don't want to talk to Austin. And we kind of made a joke about it because it was kind of funny. And I guess Jaron pinned that comment. And yeah, we were talking back and forth underneath it in the replies. And he was basically saying that I just dominated. I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, like as if I didn't let him talk and it wasn't a fair forum and stuff. And it was 4v1, but I think we let him talk a lot. So I don't even know. I will just, this is just so you guys know. Whenever you flat earthers say it's just density and buoyancy, that's just inaccurate. That isn't true. It isn't density and buoyancy alone. It just objectively isn't. When something goes down. Now, things don't just go down, they go up. Obviously, there's not this magical force called gravity. It's a force that's not a force, getting thought of like a force. And then, there's the bending and warping of space-time due to the displacement of mass. You get a gravity well because time physically dilates and slows down. And basically, if you want the speed of light, you would experience timelessness. And everything in motion physically contracts as time physically expands and slows down and experiences time slower and all this crazy stuff. And then it bends and warps this fabric of space-time that's like a fabric, but it's not like a fabric, but it has physical properties, but it's just conceptual abstractions of space, which is the idea of emptiness, of privation, the absence of everything. So nothing in and of itself. And time, a conceptual quantification of passing in the sky and motion in the sky. Just helping a brother out. Wow. Thank you for the very generous super chat, my man. Per Hansen, it is greatly appreciated. I don't know what kind of money that is, but I do appreciate the super chat. That always throws me off. Let me just look it up. Oh, that's like, oh wait, I don't know. Oh, that's $10. Is that right? I don't know. But anyway, thank you for the super chat. Just helping a brother out. Much love, brother. Zero downward bias. Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. $13. Thanks, guys. They came in there and did it for me. That's pretty dope. Don't let him dictate what you'll debate about. Make it a give and take. If he wants to debate about gravity, make it under the condition that he debate about the moon landing. Oh, I actually want to discuss the intricacies of what he thinks gravity is, because I think it's going to be good for everyone to have an expert in the field on his home turf having to do with electrics come in there and try and talk about it. It's good for flat earthers as well to hear it, like the intricacies of it. Now, if you watch the debate, we'll watch some of it. He didn't really let me talk. I mean, he was acting like I dominated and didn't let him talk or something. But if you noticed, every time I started to talk, I was getting interrupted. But it's all good. I think I might just do it on this channel and try to find like a fair moderator he agrees on to come on, and maybe I'll have a guy that'll regularly come on as a moderator on my channel instead of always having to go to Modern Day Debate where people spam me with all kinds of hate and stupid Flat Earth 101 questions, and I get exhausted. And yeah. Anyway, so moving on, let's just check it out. So I actually don't have contention with that. So I'm saying I don't want to debate the moon landing, to be honest, Bob. Like, I just don't care. He wants to debate gravity and the spin of the Earth, and I'm like, okay, cakewalks. I might say, okay, we'll talk about that, and then your presupposition of particle physics and all that integrated into the alternative framework of ether. So we'll debate all those things because he was like taking jabs at ether. I think that'll be a very informative debate. I mean, I'll talk to him for 4 hours where we really get into the minutia. We talk so a lot of people can learn a lot of stuff. Like I said, I want to keep any type of cordiality that can be kept because people with credentials are valuable to us. As in people with credentials that are opposed to our position. The moon landing was just an example. 1 minute's give and take. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I think I'll integrate the ether. Brian talks when truth is heard. That's pretty funny. All right. And I don't want to just bash the guy or something. I will tell you guys this. So one of the things said in the comments, because during the debate, you might have heard, I'm like, he's like, takes a jab at ether. And I'm like, dude, they're already trying to like inadvertently, reintroduce the ether into quantum mechanics and like made fun of me. Oh, and you guys think the ether's real, whatever. I'm like, yeah. What is quantum fluid? And he said, quantum fluid. What is that? Like superfluid? And I was like, no, never mind. You don't know. Never mind. And so he brought that up in the comments, and he's like, Austin just tried to dominate, wouldn't let me talk. I think it was gonna be like that. And Ford, and he was just making stuff up. He was wrong about everything, but wouldn't let me talk or something like that. And he's like, which is literally the opposite of what happened. But he's like, for example, he brought up quantum liquid. Now I said quantum fluid, but he said he brought up quantum liquid. I asked him what it was, like superfluid. He said, no, never mind. You don't know. You don't know what you're talking about or something. And then I went and Googled it, and what pulls up is exactly what I said, superfluid. And so he was objectively proven wrong and all this. And he has no idea what he's talking about. He just says a bunch of big words to try to sound smart and all this stuff. I'm like, dang, bro, I think you're a little triggered, man. You might be a little triggered about what happened. But so then I dropped I'm like, no, we were talking in the context of what's called the ether and then reintroducing some type of alternative to the ether, even in quantum mechanics. An example of it is like quantum fluid being these ideas that like there's a background of fluid quantum energy, and it's like an integration. There's a version of it that integrates into quantum field theory, and there's an integration that's like completely independent, and it's just like everything's this giant background fluid, which is just a way of saying the ether without saying it. And I guess he didn't know that. So because he just Googled it and it popped up with superfluid, right? So I dropped in like 5 papers about it, and then he deleted his comments. So I don't know. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but that is kind of sketchy. It's kind of sketchy, my brother. Kind of sketchy. Oh, we got some tips at Rockfin. Thank you guys very much. Let me read them off. JS, thank you for the $20 tip on Rockfin. Much love. Sam Clint, thank you for the $20 tip on Rockfin. Seek and speak truth unequivocally. Thank you for this donation. Much love. And then David Harvard, thank you for the $5 tip on Rockfin. Much love. Much love to you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Shout out to the legends. I am going to get to where I have all the chats running together. Like I said, this is a chill kind of kickback stream. We're just going to kind of talk about this and then the implications of like this idea that having degrees automatically means you're right or an expert or something like that, which is stupid, obviously. All right, but moving on.
The idea.
Let me know if you guys can hear it.
sun moving back and forth. That works out perfectly. We could actually test that. We could actually test it.
But this is science too. I mean, again, it's a specific heat equation. Well, it shows that land, it gives you a way to measure and quantify how land and atmosphere hold on to heat energy. And if you can,
you guys compare it. Cool, thanks.
It makes perfect predictions. And then, by the way, I did the calculations on the 91 versus 94 million. You know, the difference of 3 million miles in the Earth. Anyway, one of the things that flat Earth believers don't seem to understand is it's just kind of cool that you can show. And it's yeah, you go back far.
That's by a theory.
Experiment
Real.
with that, but I mean,
Sure. Thank you.
So like I said, I was kind of like chilling back, like, wait, I was trying to get it through if you saw it. Like it is, I like this kind of stream. Cool. Exactly. Might have a degree in gender studies. Yeah, exactly. Like underwater lesbian dance theory. That's an Owen Benjamin joke. So like, I was just kind of trying to move it on. Like, I'm like, oh, you're talking about you think people thought this was something back. I'm like, okay, this doesn't do anything. Okay. I was just trying to move it on and facilitate it and like, okay, let him get it out. And I was actually trying to be very diplomatic, ironically. The thing is, though, I am like in a debate, I'm like very intellectually like straightforward. Like I am very assertive in debate, you know? And it rubs people the wrong way sometimes, I guess. So anyway, long story short, didn't really talk. Then I was waiting for the gravity thing. I think it comes up here somewhere. So we'll kind of check it a little bit out and I'll kind of explain what's going on with it. And then I'll tell you guys how this will maybe integrate into the future. And maybe if you guys have any questions as to what was being discussed or you think he was right or something like that, then just at me in the chat.
Good answer.
You'll look at it. Thanks.
Good
Can
answer.
we get to this magical gravity? You got me all excited, man.
okay, let's
Wow, look at the time. Gravity's real. Yeah,
It's real.
okay, so
It's relief.
well, anyway, I had a little experiment that you can actually, well, you guys don't need to do it. You can actually calculate, you know, this is kind of cool. You can calculate the 9.8 meters per second squared,
Sweet.
which just with a piece of paper and a pencil and you're in your smartphone.
Are you under the impression that we contend 9.8 meters per second squared?
Well, I'm just saying there's a way that you can, it's just kind of cool that you can show. And for people out there that don't know that you can measure the acceleration of the gravity, it's not hard. You don't have to get a ball and a meter.
Sorry, I'm muted. As you see from the very beginning right there, he didn't actually answer my question. I said, are you under the impression that we contend 9.8 meters per second squared? He just didn't answer. It's because he obviously was. Because Globers go into conversations with this like illusory confidence. They have all the answers and stupid flurfs know nothing and have nothing and can have nothing and everything's exclusive to their paradigm. And they're just, it's the intellectually lazy and weak route and position, obviously. And so that was his like home run is like, you guys think 9.8 meters per second squared isn't real or something? You can do this yourself. So he brought like this really simple experiment to kind of show like how stupid flat earth is and how easily you can disprove it. And I don't think he's being like super malevolent. I think he truly convinced himself it was this easy of a discussion to determine whether or not the earth was a globe. So anyway, I just want you to pay attention. Now, I'm not going to like literally count the fallacies, but you'll see this is a professional. Okay. So this just really blows the lid off this whole idea that experts and degrees and blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, he used to teach physics and doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I dropped out of college. Okay. Yeah. Get your jokes in. So did Nikola Tesla. Pump the brakes there, buddy. All right. I'm not comparing myself to the intellect or genius or innovative abilities of Nikola Tesla. I'm making a point, obviously. So he didn't answer because that was what he thought. And obviously 9.8 meters per second squared is just an effect, an agreed upon average of when things go down. Okay. That's not exclusive to the earth being a ball. Things also go down on a flat earth. It's an agreed upon average. It's not exclusive to the globe, but we'll get more into that. Let's just play it.
Sticking a stopwatch.
Yeah. Your phone has an accelerometer in it. Yeah.
Well, it's just, you don't even need the accelerometer. You simply just, you can kind of look at the frames.
Well, 9.8 meters per second squared is programmed into the phone.
So but you guys agree that, we all agree that things fall 9.8 meters per second.
That's an agreed upon average once things go down.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you see, I was very particular with how I said it. That's an agreed upon average once things go down.
It's pretty, the gravitational fields are pretty constant across the globe, actually.
It's agreed upon average.
But
there's
also atmosphere here, so it's not going to be 9.8 meters per second squared anywhere on Earth.
I will give it to him. I won't keep pausing so much, but I'm saying I'll give it to him. Like, one-on-one discussion will be much different. Because if you hear, I very quickly said corrected him. It's an agreed upon average, and there is no globe. But this was like an open discussion. I was just invited last minute. This wasn't, obviously we were all talking. This wasn't like the Austin show or something. And so I try to keep that in mind. And I have a tendency to really clap back super fast in debate. And so I think that's why it came off like, oh, it's the Austin show now or something from his perspective. But just kind of pay attention and you'll see that this dude got destroyed at every single turn of the conversation, in case you didn't see it. Okay, sorry.
It's pretty, the gravitational fields are pretty constant across the globe, actually.
It's agreed upon average.
But
there's
globe, also atmosphere here, so it's not going to be 9.8 meters per second squared anywhere on Earth.
It can be measured.
Wait. This doesn't prove anything, though. Things fall down on a flat Earth too, right?
I'm getting to that. This is just the first.
Things fall
down is down on a flat Earth, Brian. You know that, right? Down on a flat Earth, down is down. There's no one upside down in Australia right now, hanging on for dear life. All right.
Okay, down is towards the center of the Earth.
I know heliocentrism. I grew up with it. I understand. I'm saying
heliocentrism. This is how down. It's not.
No,
this is not heliocentric. Yes, it's the heliocentric model. Down is down relative to the center of mass on a globe. On a flat Earth, there's just up and down.
We were taught,
theory.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. Go ahead.
Because it's not the theory. It's a very well proven theory of gravity that has.
It's not a theory. It's a very well proven theory.
I'm saying
heliocentrism. This is how down. It's not.
No,
that's how we were taught.
Theory.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. Go ahead.
Because it's not the theory. It's a very well proven theory of gravity that hasn't been.
It's proven. It's not a theory. It's a very well proven theory. Wow. Theory of okay. Can you? What is the?
It's a very well proven theory of gravity that hasn't been.
It's proven theory of okay. Can you? What is the theory of gravity?
Okay. Again, this is.
See, so he's like, oh man, this is not what I wanted to do. I don't like this. It took the glasses off. I just jumped into the conversation, like for real, for the first time. So, like I said, I'm kind of intense. I just want to talk about gravity, man.
I thought I was going to be able to go through some slides.
Give your presentation.
Go through the slides, and then we'll
interrupt you. Yeah,
there you go.
Go ahead.
Maybe next time we can just talk one-on-one. This is.
Give your presentation on gravity, man. I'm sorry. Yikes. This dude did not like that.
Well, anyway, one of the things that flat Earth believers don't seem to understand is there's a difference between laws and theories. So yes, gravity is not proven.
Okay, I want to point out, like I said, I actually have respect for him because most people wouldn't like actually go out of their way to come on here as like the expert and then be 4v1, be put on the spot, it's not an easy position to be in. And he was respectful relative to a lot of people that do it. I'm not doing this show to bash him. Nothing like that. I'm honestly not. All right. So like if you see the show, Brian, I actually respect that you came on there and you toughed it out for a full 4 hours. 4v1. It was a tough spot to be in. I know I'm intense. I know I respond quickly. I know I can take the steam out of the cells or whatever the saying is. So that's not what this is about. I just want to point out some of the flaws in the logic. And yeah, our goal is to get this guy over to where he can use his intellect. He's definitely not dumb, right? For good. So I will be calling out the flaw. It's just for educational purposes. I'm not trying to bash someone. All right, I'll stop pausing so much.
But yet it's a gravitational, it's a law because we can use it to make predictions and to build things. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but most of the world around us is built on Newton's laws of gravity. In fact, you know, if you look at skyscrapers and bridges, and again, at Georgia Tech, I took classes on, you know, statics and dynamics, you know, civil engineering type of classes.
Okay, sorry. I fibbed. I'm going to talk again, but I just want everyone to take note right here. He's been talking for a second. I brought up a couple things, but now we're going to watch how long he's allowed to talk and present all his stuff on gravity. Watch how long he's allowed to talk. And of course, the heliocentric model does not claim that the cause of gravity is mass attracting mass. Gravity is no longer considered an intrinsic property of matter. That's long been superseded. Over a century now, 1905, special relativity turned into general relativity in 1915. And the theory of gravity within the current heliocentric paradigm is, of course, that gravity is the effects of the bending and warping of space-time. And Newton himself said, I wish that no one attribute this idea to me, the idea that gravity would act on innate brute matter through the vastness of a vacuum without some type of medium to carry the interaction, is to me so great an absurdity, that no man with competent faculty of thinking and philosophical matters could ever fall into it. You know, that's a bit paraphrased, but so they taught us as if Newtonian gravity, and he came up with it and said the mass attracts the mass through vacuums. And no, he literally said that's dumb. That's what he actually said. And the story is that in 1666, an apple fell, and then he came up with gravity, which is 666 newtons on the earth. Yeah, seems legit. All right, now we're gonna like kind of let some of the fallacies run wild for a second. I want you guys to see. Again, this is a professor, or at least he used to be a physicist. Let's just see how long he's allowed to talk without being interrupted, even though he's saying all kinds of fallacies and begging the question fallacies and just blatantly misrepresenting the paradigm he's debating for and defending, which is heliocentrism, which does not say that mass attracting mass is in any way real. So.
And you use Newton's laws of gravity to build and make all of these things. So this is one of the problems with the flat Earth. The flat Earth doesn't really have a model that can build or make anything. I mean, you know, if you go to school, if you're a flat Earth believer, maybe you won't do that. But if you really want to make things in the real world,
and then
you use Newton's law.
How are you gonna?
Gravity.
I'm sorry. If you go to school, I mean, if you're a flat Earth believer, you might not really want to do that. That's just an ad hom, and that's just like a very not classy shot. As if you think the Earth is flat, then you probably didn't go to school.
If you really go to school, if you're a flat Earth believer, maybe you won't do that. But if you really want to make things in the real world, you use Newton's law of gravity. I mean, it works. It just works. So the difference between a theory and a law is that laws are analytical relationships that basically are true in their given sphere. So here on Earth, with low gravity and low speeds, you know, relativity, if you got really high gravity and really high speeds, then you got to use general relativity. But for practical,
what is this dude talking about? 666 newtons, 0.666 feet curvature in 1 mile. Yeah. They say the Earth is on a 66.6 degree tilted axis, and the north and south Arctic circles are at 66.6 degrees, while we go around the sun 66,600 miles per hour on a sphere with a curvature rate of 0.666 feet per mile squared. And they claim that the circumference of the Earth in nautical miles is 21,600, 6 times 6 times 600. And they claim, I'm a little rusty. And they claim that this is all doing all of this utilizing gravity discovered in 1666, which is 666 newtons on the Earth. And the first time they claim that the Selenilian eclipse was documented, which debunks the globe, was 1666. They claim that the diameter of the sun or the moon is 6 times 6 times 60. And I'm sure I'm missing some. And they claim that the longest a female's ever been in space was 666 days. It's kind of ridiculous, obviously.
Purposes we call these things laws is because we can use them to make very accurate calculations to actually make things. You know, the Industrial Revolution was a big part of, you know, because of Newton's laws of motion, you know, that we were able to build steam engines and all these structures, and so it's very pragmatic.
No one disputes this, though, of course, because it's just downward acceleration. When something's more dense in the air and it goes down, if you're building something, you need to obviously incorporate the fact that it goes down. Weight. Oh my gosh. Like, duh. You're building a bridge. Yeah, you have to have structural integrity. You're building something, like some form of transportation. Yeah, you need to account for the fact it goes down. Wow.
And the thing about gravity is very elegant. I mean, basically, well, it does. It explains all of these things. Everything kind of works because
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Well, just hold on. We can.
Good. Let him finish, and then we'll respond. No problem.
I just don't see what the point is. I mean,
This dude hates me, dude. Like, everyone else is talking and it's fine, but if I say something, dude,
just hold on. We can.
Good.
Basically, well, it does. It explains all of these things. Everything kind of works because.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Well, just hold on. We can.
Good. Let him finish, and then we'll respond. No problem.
I just don't see what the point is. I mean,
Well, just go ahead. Maybe we're wrong. I'm open to being wrong, bro. So let me know. See, I was trying to be nice. I was trying to make him comfortable. I'm like, dang, okay, I don't want to lose him. Like,
Yeah, I mean, the things that you're showing us are things that we've all had to.
Maybe he's going to teach us. So maybe,
Right,
we're
wait.
wrong.
Well, I mean, but the thing is, I've done the Cavendish experiment. I know you guys.
Oh boy.
You have your reasons. And I've even got a Cavendish device here.
What's a Cavendish device?
A Cavendish torsion balance. It's a torsion balance. It's a gravitational torsion balance that you're able to calculate the gravitational constant. And
In your house? In your house?
Yeah, he has one. He has one right beside him.
I don't see it. Oh. I've never seen that before.
We just maybe present your argument, and then maybe I can become a believer.
Yeah, do that.
And the little G or big G, I don't know which one I'm supposed to believe in that created everything, the big G or little G, but that was supposed to be a joke, by the way. My joke is, oh yeah, this all creative, all powerful, omnipresent, this omnipotent, omnipresent, creative force that coalesced everything into existence. And we call it little G or big G. You might as well just say God. Just call it God, bro. That's kind of my joke here. Didn't really land that well.
Yeah, do that.
And the little G or big G, I don't know which one I'm supposed to believe in that created everything, the big G or little G, but
it's about, again, we're able to make predictions. So we use Newton's laws of gravity to make.
You got a little quiet for some reason, Brian. Just can you get back towards your mic or something? It was really quiet there, just so people can hear you.
Okay, so
there you go.
So they have the Cavendish device, the Cavendish experiment I've done myself, and it gives you. I mean, if you do it yourself, you're not going to get a very super high level of precision. You can get within 2%. But the thing is that this has been done thousands of times in labs around the world, and even if it's off by a little bit, the fact that you're getting almost exactly the same answer every time, it's very, very good proof. In fact, and it's not just the Cavendish. There's other ways that you can measure gravity. The Schiehallion mountain.
Really, bro? Do we have to? Cavendish himself didn't even account for electrostatics. I talked to someone that's like an anti-flat earther who recently did it. He said he had a lot of trouble with it because he couldn't eliminate electrostatics, and it kept messing with the results. And then he put it in a Faraday cage or grounded it or both. And of course, that doesn't entirely eliminate electrostatics, and there's electrostatics in the air between the objects. Wow, very profound, I know. Wow.
An experiment, they're able to calculate G pretty relatively accurately. This is a Von Jolly experiment. So the bottom line is we have overwhelming proof or evidence that mass attracts mass. Again, when I say a law, I mean something we can use analytically to make predictions. here on Earth is that mass attracts mass, and there's no other way. And I've seen your electrostatic stuff and density and buoyancy. This doesn't work unless you invoke heavenly energies, and we have to look at what that is. But the point is these are,
Well, there is an ether, my guy, but we don't even need that right now. So mass attracting mass isn't even what they claim gravity is. It's weird.
gravity measurements. This is now mctune.net/G.
Oh, good.
You can
good
just
source.
see. Well, but again, you can click and look at the studies yourself. So there's just,
Yeah.
I mean, it's overwhelming the number of times that these experiments have been confirmed.
I'm not gonna make us watch the whole thing, by the way. I know
Not
a
just
lot of you
one
guys
person
watched.
or even just one experiment. They've been able to confirm it in many different ways, not just by Cavendish, but by doing other things like I told you with the Sahelian experiment and the Von Jolly. It's just two examples. But so there's many ways that we can show that mass attracts mass.
There's really like no other ways that you possibly could even invoke that even claim to do it. Cavendish was trying to determine the density of the Earth. It had nothing to do with that. And it's such a small little effect. He had to run over across the yard, get super far away, and pull out a telescope.
And it's typically, the force between masses is typically, the gravitational constant.
And every time it moves or doesn't move or moves too much, they just automatically assume user error every time, and then they just pick out because it's claimed to be such a difficult quote unquote experiment that its user error is expected. So every time that you don't get what you want, you just throw it out and you wait till you get exactly what you need, and you're like, okay, that was it. That means that we didn't have user error that time.
Constant m1 m2 over r squared, and we can, unless you're in a really high gravitational field like in a black hole where you're going near the speed of light, these equations hold very, very accurately. And again, yes, gravity hasn't been proven, but no theory is ever proven. So a theory versus a law is something that tries to explain what the law is saying. So the theory of gravity went from Newtonian's theory to, and then Einstein updated it to a better theory of general relativity.
So he was just saying gravity was a law, right? Because it's a law of gravitation, because he uses it to predict things. And now he's calling it a theory and Newton's theory. Oh my goodness.
And the interesting thing though is that, Newton's equations weren't proven wrong. They actually are special cases within relativity where space is really flat and time is not so fast, and the speeds aren't really super high. So you actually get Newton's equation.
All right, let's cover that. So what is he talking about? I don't know. Does anyone know what he's talking about? Does he have like a new historical timeline of a new fairy tale religion called heliocentrism that I don't know about? I'm not sure what he's talking about. Does anyone know what he's talking about?
And so time special cases within to a better theory of general relativity. And the interesting thing though is that Newton's equations weren't proven wrong. They
literally were. When they tried to apply them to the solar system, they didn't work. They literally didn't work. They were proven wrong within your own paradigm. It didn't work. I believe it was, is it Mercury? I think it's Mercury's like elliptical orbit. It literally didn't work. So it literally was proven wrong. Doesn't work anywhere outside the solar system. And you said sometimes when space is flat, every single part of relativity, and I'm going to debate this guy. I don't want to give everything away, but it's like all you have to do is watch my channel, I guess. Just in case you didn't know, this is funny. Everything in relativity, what they do is they build this little grid system, and they apply it on little, small, flat segments. That's how you start the math for relativity in all of it. And then they just compile it, right, into an overall presupposed rate of curvature. Very similar to what they do on the Earth. All physical measurements of Earth, you drop a plumb line, so it's it's perpendicular to the Earth, right, which is perpendicular to a plane. And then you measure in small increments plane survey data, and that's how we get our actual measurements. And then they do something called geodetic surveying, where they take all those flat measurements, they piece them together, and then they presuppose the overall convexity rate, the curvature, and then they try to fit it in there by weighted means and selected windows and blah, blah, blah. But an optical delusion. So Let's move on.
Are special cases within.
If he watches your channel, he will back out of the debate, sir. Maybe, but I thought about this, and it's like he could just go watch like some of my stuff about the ether or something, or my presentation on the ether, and he may not want to debate. So like, what can I do, right? I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna cover some of this nonsense.
Relativity, where space is really flat and time is not so fast, and the speeds aren't really super high. So you actually get Newton's equation. So the new theory didn't, it transcended, but it included Newton's equations, but just as a special case.
Okay.
So, and again, with general relativity.
Wait, can we talk about one at a time? Is that cool? Instead of like, you're saying
Well,
Newtonian, and then go ahead. I guess just.
I was just going to go through the gravity, then we can talk about gravity in general. Then we'll get to the flat Earth gravity thing I have set up. So
we're not going to get to rebut all your claims right now about gravity.
No, we are. No, we are.
Gravity.
No. I said let's just get through this, then we'll have a discussion, and then
Okay, fair enough.
I
think I'm being nice.
And I know you guys have seen this stuff before. So there's a lot of validation for relativity, and I'm sure you guys know with LIGO, which by the way, the long interferometer.
That was a tough watch. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch all of it.
Arms did have to account for the curvature of the Earth.
It had to account for the curvature of the Earth when they built LIGO, bro. Why do you say things like you've been watching Fight the Flat Earth? They just blatantly lie. This is the danger with censorship. You're literally brainwashing people that are like too naive to even be allowed to look into this. Almost like they go and watch. This is why I'll never jump on Fight the Tight Shirts channel, because people like that, what they do is they get in front of the camera and they intentionally blatantly lie. They just blatantly lie and make stuff up. They had to incorporate the curvature of the Earth to build the bridge and all this, when objectively it's not true. It's objectively not true, but they blatantly lie with conviction and boldly trying to convince people. And they say it with such a confident tone because they're so deluded and without morality that like people are like too gullible and they just believe it. It's sad, which they had to incorporate the curvature. No, they didn't. That's so dumb. That's dumb, bro. Not saying you're dumb. I'm saying that stop watching these people. They're corroding your brain. For anyone that watches this is kind of new to the Earth, bro, you need to go look at the actual position. Like, intellectual honesty is to hear out whatever position it is that is counter to yours before making a determination on it. It is the height of ignorance to address a matter prior to looking into it. Like, it makes no sense whatsoever to be like, I know flat Earth is stupid because flat Earth couldn't be a disk spinning or accelerating upwards in a giant vacuum with a bunch of spherical planets in a solar system while it's the only disk and then water falling off the side of it. Good. Yet no one thinks any of that, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like you haven't looked into. I looked into it. You haven't looked into flat Earth yet. If you don't know the actual position, you go to actual flat earthers. You talk to them about what they actually think, what they actually say, what their actual claims are, what their actual methodologies of falsification of the globe are, what they propose as physical empirical evidence, and then you make a determination. My goodness, I'm sorry. I just get frustrated when I hear people just like propagating blatant lies. It's like you coming to tell me Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas using the Copernican model. I'm like, bro, and you say it with your chest out, like you're like, aha, shut up, I win. It's like, bro, you're propagating lies, bro. Calm down, man.
I mean, incredibly accurately confirmed relativity to like 8 decimal places. I mean, it makes it one of the most accurate theories as far as making predictions that we've ever had, along with quantum electrodynamics. So,
did you hear that? He's talking about LIGO.
Accurately confirmed curvature of the Earth. I mean, incredibly accurately confirmed relativity to like 8 decimal places. I mean, it makes it one of the most accurate theories as far as making predictions that we've ever had, along with
LIGO. It's so accurate into like 8 decimal places that it like definitively proves relativity. Basically, it is like the most solid theory we have ever. We predicted it all the way down to 8 decimal places. I mean, that is insane precision. 8 decimal places. Like, our prediction has to be accurate if we're able to predict down to 8 decimal places, right?
Electrodynamics. So,
is it true about LIGO? The LIGO, the amount of the string displacement was smaller than a proton.
Yeah, well, it has to be smaller than the diameter of an atomic nucleus, actually.
Oh, never mind. That 8 decimal places no longer means anything. It's smaller than an atomic nucleus. And you see that Jaron had to point out how ridiculous it is. They say the string displacement is smaller than an atomic nucleus, and you're bragging about the precision of decimal places of the prediction, and it's smaller than an atomic nucleus. Now, we won't even digress into how that phrase in and of itself is utterly pseudoscience. Think about how dishonest that is. Oh, we know relativity is legit. We were able to predict within 8 decimal places. Oh, no. Oh, really? What'd you predict? Oh, the displacement of a string the size of an atomic nucleus. Dude, your decimals don't mean anything. What you're supposedly detecting sounds like it should just be 5,000 decimal places over there. Like, what are you talking about? Come on, guys. Let's show Austin some love and get those thumbs up for him. Hey, what my boy Bob said. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Bob from Globebusters, you're a legend. Thank you, brother. Actually, that's a good point. Mr. Twitch is spiraling about the Southern Stars. I don't know who that is. Southern Stars is not that big of a deal. You can put a paperweight over concentric circles, and you can just use a container to replicate how the stars will look like they're going around a central point in the southern sky, and that they're going the opposite way because of containment. You can also use magnetic holography, electromagnetic polarization within a magnetic holographic projection of the stars. Oh man, you're so crazy! You think it? Yeah. I think that might be going on. There could also be actually 2 sets of stars. We have to just change the maps a little bit, and we have a couple that work without messing up the shipping routes and all the consistent flight routes. Where it's something like a solenoid with 2 different things of stars themselves, literally. Oh man, how dare you? All we have to do is show a container and it literally does it. So no, the answer of just looking different directions isn't proper answer either, by the way, for those of you. That's one thing I'm really about to start doing is I think Jaron and I might do a stream. We're about to start, like, we're going to cover all the stuff flat earthers say that's wrong. All the stuff you guys say that's wrong. We're going to start exposing it because that's the worst thing flat earthers can do is we have the truth on our side. We don't have to lie. You don't have to exaggerate. You don't have to make stuff up. You don't have to lie. That's what they do. We don't lie. You're not representing this truth movement if you're lying. That's what they do. Some of you guys, I don't think, are meaning to lie. You've just heard other people that you trusted say things that are not proper answers, but I'm really digressing today. He was not at least a liar. He believed 100% in his doctrination. Yeah, there's a difference in intellectual dishonesty and lying. There's a crossover, though. But, yeah, so like Bob said, you guys smash the thumbs up. Let's see how many thumbs up we have. So we have 191 people watching, and we have 83 thumbs up. 83 thumbs up. So we're just going to sit here until you guys smash the like button. I can sit here all day. I'll sit here all day. I'm kind of trolling you guys, but hey, will you guys like smash the like button? It's like right. It's right. It's right there. It's like right there. Nope, right there. Right there? Right there. Yeah, just smash the like button. Just help us with the algorithms a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? All right, I'll stop trolling you guys. Let's continue.
Wow.
It's not a
Wow.
photon. It's
Thank you for
No.
the 199 super chat. Can you wreck T-Jump's whole existence? Yeah, I guess I could. I think I've debated him before. Thank you for the very generous super chat. Sam, I hope I say your name right. Sam Hine. Thank you for the $100 super chat, man. That is very generous and greatly appreciated. Thank you very much, brother. You got 103 most people on the TV and they can't like. Oh. A lot of people watching on TV and can't like. It's all good. I'm just kind of trolling, but it does help us, I think. Again, thank you very much for the generous donation, bro. That means a lot. And yeah, super chats, they take 30%, but it's not like it's not as terrible because like if you guys will sign up and become a member down below in the description, and you guys occasionally send super chats, you know, that is some type of residual thing. And I'll need that to be able to do this consistently as a job. And I'm about to roll out the OBS, all the new different stream setups, different types of shows and stuff. And so it will be a job. And trust me, if you guys just back me up, you guys are definitely not going to be let down. And sometimes I know some people can't afford to. It's okay. You know, I still love you. You don't have to. But share it and stuff like that. That's also supporting the channel. But support what you like or it goes away. Patreon's in the description, guys. That's true as well. And I will be updating my Patreon here soon. So it should be cool. Yeah. And we'll do member only chats. I don't want to. You guys get it. If you also $What's Gets It on Cash App or paypal.me/inaworld. And I'll read those off. Anyway, all the help's greatly appreciated. And I trust the creator. And if I'm supposed to do it, then it'll work out, right? That's how I look at it. So I don't want to talk too much about it. Moving on. Thank you again, though, for the generous super chat.
Oh, that's incredible. Exactly. It is incredible. It's incredible precision that has to happen to detect the gravitational wave. But this chirp that took place in 2 locations. They didn't just do 1 location. They did it in Washington and like Louisiana. They were able to confirm the exact same gravitational pattern exactly as predicted by general relativity. So it was just an amazing.
A couple weeks ago, I read a story. A couple weeks ago, I read a story that they.
I don't know if you guys got some boomers. I said that's cap, bro. I thought that was hilarious. Bro.
Same gravitational pattern exactly as predicted by general relativity. So it was just an amazing.
A couple weeks ago, I read a story. A couple weeks ago, I read a story that they first faked the experiment to see if everybody would agree with it.
Yeah, they faked it, and then we asked, would that be weird if they did that? That's just conjecture. But I'm asking, would it be weird if they faked it? And blah blah blah. So we'll skip a few seconds.
And they did.
If it's true, bro.
If it's true,
if they lied,
and it would be weird if it had time predicted them. That would be crazy. Like, what are the chances it would be on the 100th year?
That's just a coincidence. That's a coincidence argument.
Just a coincidence. Just a coincidence.
Doesn't make
amazing.
No,
I didn't understand. Doesn't prove anything.
It would be weird. Okay.
I mean, it's just like Stephen Hawking being born like exactly a couple hundred years after, like, what was it, Galileo or something. It doesn't prove that he's a reincarnation of.
They said it's literally nothing like Stephen Hawking's being born a certain amount of years after Galileo and people saying it's his reincarnation. It's literally nothing like that. We're talking about how they came out and said that they lied about detecting gravity at LIGO to see if people would believe it. And they did. And then they really discovered it. And then they said that they did this 100 years exactly after Einstein predicted it. That's not like claiming someone's reincarnated in a wheelchair with a computer voice. I don't see the correlation there. And it is more ignorant to be a coincidence theorist than a conspiracy theorist nowadays, in case you're wondering. I wish you had the opportunity to say more. Yeah, like I think that it was a cool vibe. I didn't want to, honestly, if I had just debated him heads up, it probably would have left. And he says he wants to debate me 1v1. I thought it was pretty cool. I couldn't really talk without being interrupted, but I hear what you're saying. Hopefully you guys will get plenty of it. Maybe we'll debate 3 or 4 hours. Me and him get all in the details of gravity, the spin of the earth, and the ether. And it should be cool. Should be a good conversation. And like I said, I'm going to start getting a lot of people on here with credentials. So stay tuned. I think that's the best thing to do. It's hands down the best thing to do. They have intellectual reputations. They can't just lie. That's why I title this expert device. I want to let you guys know, like, that's my new aim. I go into Discord and I'll debate people sometimes. They're like anti-flat earthers. They'll lie about anything until the end of time, and it helps me strengthen my arguments or figure out what their best argument is, whatever they can come up with. But I'm just going to start giving my energy towards like I occasionally do debates on Modern Day Debate, like Karen B asked me to. That's my homie, obviously, so I did it. But I'm not going to be taking any and all debates on Modern Day Debate. It's going to have to be someone that's like Professor Dave or like credentials. And I think we need to just kind of elevate where we're like, dude, you guys need us. And we want the big dogs. The big dogs can't hang with us. I don't got time for this. It's time for us to expose the lie about the earth. I'm about to turn up, bro. I'm about to I'm about to shake up the matrix. Like, we are going to glitch the system. We are going to get the truth about the earth out there, and we're going to do it in many different ways from all angles at the same time. And yeah, that's the plan. It's time. Please not Professor Dave. The only reason I would be debating him is because everyone that's honestly looking into flat earth because they hear about it, they run into him. When I went to the NBA finals and there were like 100,000 people there and I'm on the microphone talking to everyone, if anyone was like, dang, I want to look into it, that crazy white boy with the basketball was making some sense. And then they just type in flat earth in YouTube, they get Professor Dave. And so it's important to expose him and people like him, in my opinion, like the algorithm propped up people. But dude, that dude's super toxic and lame. I do this because I think it's like for the good. That's why I do these debates. That's why, because I'm actually trying to like make a difference, and I know it's for the audience members, and that's why I do it, bro. Trust me, bro. I get it, but it'll have to be on a fair platform. Moving on.
Said that they faked it, bro. It's weird.
Well, I'll look at the information, but I've spent, the Nobel Prize by Kip Thorne. I mean, it was a really big deal, and
my gosh.
I put it in the chat, by the way.
This is where I disagree with you.
The same people.
The title, that's
the old,
because that's what's happening in reality, right? I mean, it's what's happening is, if you were to be looking from space, there is a boat sitting at the bottom of the earth upside down. Now, I know you say no, it's not upside down.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? I like, to be fair, like I said, I want to like this guy in a way because he said he doesn't like how the anti-flat earthers are so dishonest, and they like they spew hatred and they attack us personally, and they don't let us like talk. And he's like, he hasn't been going along for the last 2 years with all the nonsense that basically stripped our future generations freedom from them right in front of everyone's eyes. And hats off to him for that. I respect it. I respect that he decided to go and do his own demonstrations. He was just misguided as to where to put his attention. I respect that he came on here and talked. I think we need to be more humble. We need to be more forgiving. We need to be more inviting. We need to be funnier, better vibes, chiller vibes, because we need to show people like, look, man, just come over here. We're all on the same page. We're all on the same team overall. And it's okay. We invite you, not like be on their chest, like, I'm 300-0 in flat earth debate. You got destroyed. You're stupid. You don't understand it, blah, blah, blah. Now, when they ridicule you and all this stuff, sometimes you got to stand for yourself and put them in their place. But this is just my opinion, right? Take it or leave it. You're just on my channel, and I'm just telling you what I think.
You realize that the satellite's upside down, looking at it right side up, though, you're missing the satellites go. You do get that, right?
Yes, but one boat is antipodal to the other boat.
The antipodal theory was from the Middle Ages. Like I told you,
no, there's antipodes now. Things are antipode.
You see what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? If the Earth's a ball, then there's people antipodal to us, man. It's like intrinsic in the word sphere. Like, come on.
Me on the
Brian, so when they showed us the picture of the Earth, right, and they showed the moon in front of the Earth, Brian, think about it, right? They showed us the moon in front of the Earth. If that satellite had zoomed in on the top of the ball and then zoomed out and then zoomed in on the bottom of the ball, it would have saw stuff upside down on the bottom of the ball from its outside perspective.
You can't get zoomed that far.
Well, you know that.
And that's not the point, though, right? And again, I honestly felt like I was trying to be nice.
But we're
but we can zoom in on
newspapers from satellites.
Away.
They claim we can zoom all the way into a newspaper and read newspaper print from satellites. I didn't just say that.
The way that gravity works is that everything is getting pulled towards the center. That is a center of mass.
We know how they tell us.
We know that.
Okay, so again. Well, let's just go to. Okay.
So we just need to buy into. I mean, the problem I have with it is like when they go up in these high.
Whoa! What's this?
Can I address some of that?
We're going to discuss. No, I'm just pulling up. We're going to discuss.
So like a parabolic
some of what you said first.
If we dropped a bunch of Skittles, why don't the Skittles get together? Why don't they come together in a 0G plane or in the ISS? How come the Skittles just go everywhere? Why don't
the Skittles are very low mass. You understand how we?
So how did the Earth start then? How did any planet or star start if low mass doesn't do it?
You understand that everything is spheres because
I'm gonna skip some of it because I know some of you guys already saw it. So, like I said, you guys should go check it out. It's 4 hours. I think that I started talking to him around this time. I think in a little bit, and we're gonna get to some of that. We'll watch some of it. Yeah, go support, go show some love. Try not to be too brutal or too mean. Like I said, we need people with credentials coming on, talking to us. Maybe this guy can end up coming to the light. I know that a lot of flat earthers, they don't want to tell the truth, but a lot of you guys took a while to figure out that the earth was flat. It took a lot of you guys to accept it because it's intense. It's a lie. It's like a whole world shattering thing. And we need to be respectful to people, especially when they have at least some cojones where they're going out in front of the whole world, especially with professional background, and they're kind of going through their process live. Like Owen Benjamin went through his whole process live, for example, right? And anyone that can do that and be transparent about it, it's easier said than done. It's respectful. So I just think that the best thing we can do is to get more people comfortable publicly stating what they think about the earth, even when they have professional, academic, intellectual reputations and professions, and at the least, like having conversations with them and showing, look, this whole like, oh, well, they're just stupid people that dropped out of college, and anyone that's an expert and a physicist and a scientist would never believe this. Just like eliminating all that and showing, oh yeah, they're so much smarter than us. Then let's see if they can debate us. You see what I'm saying? That's how we win, quote unquote. And of course, winning is just winning. And for me, it's not to convert people. I don't want a lot of these people over here hanging out with me. Like, I think some of them are really just like, come on. I don't want everyone converted. The goal and the objective, and everyone should realize this, is just to get the word out there, right? It's to get the word out there, our actual position, what we actually think about the earth, what we actually say, what our actual stance is, to get that out to the whole world so everyone gets to see what it really is, instead of the lie, the fake controlled opposition position of flat earth that makes us look stupid. Okay, that's the goal. The goal is to get it all the way out there where everyone can see it. You can't really deny it based on like misrepresentation and straw man, and then you can do what you want. That's when we win. That's all that really we can hope for. Moving on.
Everything is getting pulled in.
Yeah, but you just said,
please. You're talking about one.
Okay,
mass
yeah,
that won't attract anything. So how did they?
You heard he gave a pretty long presentation. Jaron jumped in a couple times, talked to him. He's did his whole gravity thing. He's been talking 70-80% of this whole entire stream. Okay. And I've only talked a couple times, and every time I began to talk, he got triggered already. I don't know why, because I guess I come off assertive, but here's where I kind of jump in.
They start.
That's a massive amount of energy density. When the
Hey,
gas-
can I address your arguments, man? You made a few fallacious arguments. So for one, you're talking about mass attracting mass.
Yeah.
Please just give me a couple minutes, please. You're talking about mass.
Right. So I said, please give me a couple minutes, please. Right. Because both of the things I said, he's like says he has to comment through them. Right now, watch this.
Hey, can I address
Austin.
your arguments, man? You made a few fallacious arguments. So for one, you're talking about mass attracting mass.
Yeah.
Please just give me a couple minutes, please. You're talking about mass attracting mass. That's way outdated, right? That's like superseded in 1905 by special relativity, then turned into general relativity.
Bam. Where are we? I said, please just give me a couple minutes. You just went on this diatribe of all kinds of easily falsified claims. The earth's a ball. You're a professional. We're stupid, crazy flat earthers. We fell for it. We couldn't see it. You were able to just do a couple of things with beach balls and a camera. You can prove us wrong. There should be no reason you're scared of anything I'm about to say. There should be no reason. No reason, right? You should be like, yeah, get your best argument now. You got nothing. When people can feel that they're going against truth, but they don't want to accept the truth, or they're in a position where they're going against the truth, they intuitively, instinctively, subconsciously know they have to stop it from being heard in order to create the illusion that they were right. Right? So, sorry, I just wanted to point that out.
Minutes, please. You're talking. So for one, you're talking about mass attracting mass.
Yeah.
Please just give me a couple minutes, please. You're talking about mass attracting mass. That's way outdated, right? That's like superseded in 1905 by special relativity, then turned into general relativity in 19.
I explained that.
Bro, you got to give me a couple seconds, man. You said a lot of stuff that's just all provably wrong. Okay. So then you brought up Cavendish. Well, when Cavendish did it, he didn't even account for the variable of electrostatics, which is an attractive force. And so the torsion part, like the actual mass itself, whatever, he had to run away and use a telescope and barely saw it move. And even if you use something to control for that variable, you can never eliminate the variable electrostatics, right? Because all molecular and intermolecular attractive forces are electrostatic in nature, and that's an attractive force, and you're barely getting any change, and it's not consistent. So it definitely doesn't prove gravity. You're claiming it proves mass attracting mass. That's not even the claimed model anymore. That's just really, really old.
No,
hold on, let him finish.
Yeah, Dave jumped in. And by the way, I'm curious if you guys are answer in the chat, because I'm trying to work on like not talking so fast, because I can like, when I'm really trying to make my point, I'm trying to like keep up with my thoughts in a way. Like I'm trying to keep up with my point. And so I just like start trying to chase after and keep up to my thoughts. And honestly, if I don't, I like mess up. Like I like forget my points. I lose some of my coherency. It's like a weird thing. It's like, so I'm trying to work on where I don't go too fast, because a lot of people complain that I go too fast. A lot of people say they love when I go fast, and that's one of the main reasons they like my channel. And they watch a lot of other YouTube like fast forwarded, but they like how like that I talk fast and give information quickly and stuff. And I'm never gonna lose where I talk kind of fast, but I'm trying to work on in the debate not talk too fast. Was I talking too fast right there? Was I like, for one, I want to know what you guys think. Like, was I talking too fast right there? Because I feel like I was talking like insanely slow, like compared to what I wanted to do. And then do you like when I talk fast, or do you like when I slow it down? Even any all molecular and intermolecular, whatever, he had to run away and use a telescope and barely saw it move. And even if you use something to control for that variable, you can never eliminate the variable electrostatics, right? Because all molecular and intermolecular attractive forces are electrostatic in nature, and that's an attractive force, and you're barely getting any change, and it's not consistent. So it definitely doesn't prove gravity. You're claiming it proves mass attracting mass. That's not even the claimed model anymore. That's just really, really old.
No,
That's, hold on, let him finish. It's his turn. Just let him go.
And oh, I wasn't showing it. Like this is what's crazy. It's like, this is when I would have to talk fast, right? Because it's like, he keeps interrupting me. So it's like, whatever.
Oh, it'll be quick. Go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, and so then the whole relativity thing, you said that it's been proved, and then you brought up like the fifth of a proton, whatever. But the theory of relativity has been debunked on the cosmological and quantum scale within your own paradigm. It isn't accurate at all whatsoever. It's never been proven. And then when you looked at the Arthur Eddington thing, like, dude, they admit that might not be actual bending and warping of space-time. So simply put, there's actually no empirical evidence that's ever verified gravity. And then when you're talking about the downward acceleration, that's an effect that we observe on the Earth. It's not exclusive to the idea that we're on a magic spinning ball in a vacuum. Things go down on a flat Earth too, bro. On a stationary flat Earth, that's just the effect. You're claiming the cause of the effect. We want to prove the cause. The fact that we engineer things based on the downward acceleration agreed upon average isn't exclusive to the Earth being a ball or gravity or something. The fact we use 9.8 meters per second squared to engineer things has nothing to do with the Earth being a ball. So those are just fundamental misrepresentations of what's actually going on. We're questioning your cause claim, bro. And mass attracting mass isn't what your cause claim is anymore, because that was debunked a long time ago. And Newton did not even propose a mechanism for gravity.
Yeah, and it's like okay. So I see a lot of you guys saying that you like it when I talk fast, that wasn't too fast at all. And cool, because I'm kind of like, I'm realizing like it just like kills my vibe. You know, someone said if some of the people saying he talks too fast, like just slow it down to 0.75. Yeah, exactly. Right. Now, I know some of the things I need to explain. So like, I want to get my point out there, then I'll try to explain it. I'm trying to work on that real well, because I think that if you understand something, you can explain it simply. Right. But when I'm like, magnetism is the conjugate geometric expression of the centrifugal divergence and the centripetal convergence. It's like, I'm not just trying to sound smart and talk fast and use words people don't understand. I'm just like talking, and I'll explain those things, right? Like I've defined what that stuff means, like conjugate, meaning like the inverse, like intrinsic, like two sides to the same coin. Like if you have, so the conjugate geometric expression, right? Anyway, yeah, just I'm going back to talking how I talk, bro. In the debate, I'll try to maybe not, but it is what it is. Although you do say words I don't understand. Yeah, but I mean, you can always just look words up, right? So like, I do want to make sure I try to explain. Sorry, I just wanted to cover that because I've been kind of thinking about it. So he let me get through a bunch of that though, because Dave stopped him. So yeah, all right, let's kind of watch a few minutes of this. I'll try not to interrupt so much.
I know, but that is you hear what I said about theory, the law of gravity. I'm saying that's empirically how we can use it to make things. And then I said that general relativity was warped spacetime. Yes, that superseded it. And Newton's equation wasn't proven wrong. It was proven as a special case. But
no, they're different because Newton's doesn't
they're
work.
not. Newton is basically
Newton's doesn't work on the solar system scale.
You can take relativity. No, you can take relativity and take the curvature down to close to zero, very low curvature, and you take the speeds and you reclaim Newton's equations from general relativity. Newton's equations are in general relativity.
I'm trying to help you out here, okay? So downward acceleration on the Earth is not because that there's mass attracting mass. That's not what your model claims. And electrostatics is 10 to the 30. Listen, man, electrostatics is 10 to the 36th power stronger than gravity even claims to be. And then you can look at Walter Lewin from MIT explain to you that all effects observed on the Earth is from electricity or electrics or electrostatics, that nothing to do with downward acceleration or anything observed with how your body is on the Earth or anything is anything other than electric. This is MIT professor for 4 decades within your own paradigm, astrophysics.
No, I watched that video. No, I've got his book and I've watched that video.
So it's 10 to 36 power stronger than gravity claims to be.
But if you watch his videos on gravity, he'll tell you that everything is electrically neutral, which is why you don't see that, again, why we don't get like large scale electrical.
Right. He says that out on the planetary scale that gravity takes over. Okay. So when you're talking about all the planes and trains and automobiles on the Earth, and we couldn't even do anything on a flat Earth because we have to use gravity. That's patently false. That isn't true. Electrostatics is way stronger than gravity. It's just a fact.
It's mostly electrically neutral though.
No, just because things cancel out doesn't mean it doesn't have electrostatic potential. And its resting potential is 10 to the 36 power stronger than gravity claims to be. All molecular and intermolecular attractive forces are electrostatic in nature.
This dude's just like just dismissing everything I'm saying. It's crazy. Like, watch his facial expressions, bro.
That's patently false. That isn't true. Electrostatics is way stronger than gravity. It's just a fact.
It's mostly electrically neutral, though.
No, just because things cancel out doesn't mean it doesn't have electrostatic potential. And its resting potential is 10 to the 36 power stronger than gravity claims to be. All molecular and intermolecular attractive forces are electrostatic in nature. These are all objective things.
Let's go through that because the electrostatics. I wrote a book. I understand the Earth's energies very well. So let's just go through.
Totally ignored everything that I said, bro. So anyway, like, you guys can go watch it. We talked for a little bit. If you guys want to watch some more of it in a second, I will. Austin, please don't talk to me anymore. Can't wait for that part. Yeah, I'm going to find that part in a sec. But basically, I just want to tell you guys what was going on. We're supposed to debate 1v1. Don't know exactly when. Hopefully sooner than later. And, wow, thank you guys for the tips on Rockfin. Let me... $2 tip, Josh. Thank you very much. Keep the gravy flowing. Wow. Thank you for the very generous donation on Rockfin, Josh R. Greatly appreciated, brother. I appreciate it. All right. Cool, man. We can keep watching, I guess. We'll find that I don't want to talk to Austin anymore. I don't want to just make you guys watch the whole thing. I know a lot of you guys watched it. But you saw right there, he just point blank ignored. Like, I'm saying, he's like, oh, it's neutral. Dude, okay. Just because something's neutral, dude, it's still held together by electrostatics. It has electrostatic potential. It still has charge there. Just because you can't detect a net charge doesn't mean there's not a charge. It's literally held together by charges. In fact, the only way that you get like the alleged mass of an electron, for example, is they get the charge and then they just have a ratio, a charge to mass ratio that they throw it in there. Come on, bro. And then they said they got something called spin, and it's just oscillation. It's vibration. Long story short, everything's intrinsically electrostatic. All molecular and intermolecular attractive forces are electrostatic in nature. Purdue University, I'm not just making that up, And then like Boston University, the electrostatic force is 10 to the 39th power stronger than gravity on the smallest scale. So smaller than gravity even claims to be is how I say it, because it's just a claim that isn't real, right? I just make a point. Right. And then I also, of course, gave you the MIT professor saying 10 to the 36. So obviously there's a little bit of a difference there. Whoa, man, what? So I say 36. Let's do it on the smaller scale instead. Right. And that's a very relevant point. That isn't word salad. Word salad's like train, blue, rabbit, grass, 7, 9, hungry. Like that's word salad. Okay. Like saying something that maybe you don't understand or not informed on, or saying it quickly or using bigger vocabulary words isn't word salad. You know what I'm saying? Those were all very relevant. I don't talk just to talk. I'm not doing filibuster. I'm making very specific points, bro. And I wanted to kind of cover some of the stuff because a lot of people kind of want to know. Well, so, we'll do an electrostatic stream not too long from now. And I guess he'll get to kind of see it before the debate, but I'm not going to capitulate my stuff to him. And I'm going to actually make a theory, bro. Like, I know that theories are just theories or whatever. Is it a scientific theory? Yeah. Actually, I'm going to test it. But I'll get the whole, like, we can't have equations out of the way. We're going to just do the math. We're going to have it all set up. We're like, bow, here you go. So now everyone can understand it. You can take it or leave it. But we do have a way to integrate an actual coherent theory of electrostatics as gravity, specifically addressing everything with all the evidence, all the experiments to back it up. And that's what we're going to do. So anyway, so I'm not going to get too much into it. It's kind of what I'm saying. But I think that what is interesting is I brought up Walter Lewin, right, from MIT, taught for like 4 decades. And he just straight up says that, like, everything we observe on the earth, all these effects, they're all electric. And like electrostatics is 10 to the 36 power stronger than gravity. So gravity doesn't really even play a role in anything that we observe or any of the effects until we get out on the planetary scale. And like, he just breezed right past that. So he says this whole, the fact he said he wants to debate me 1v1 and I'm so wrong about this is very baffling. It's just pride and ego maybe. But like, your whole thing was like, oh, look at 9.8 meters per second squared, Newtonian mechanics, Newtonian gravity. Oh, we use this to engineer, blah, blah, blah. Dude, you're saying that, but then I literally ripped it away from you saying, okay, that's just the effect of downward acceleration, agreed upon average 9.8 meters per second squared. That is no way to be conflated with the causal agent, the claim of what causes the effect. What you currently claim is the bending and warping of space-time. It is not in any way claimed to be mass attracting mass as an intrinsic property of matter anymore. That isn't what it is claimed. Newton didn't even propose that. Newton actually said, please do not attribute this to me. Newton said it was an absurdity to think that it would work that way. And I pointed all this out. None of it was responded to with any substantive specificity. And this is a professional. This should just make people think like, wow, what's going on with the lie that flat earthers are so dumb and our position is so bankrupt and has no validity, when the truth is you can pull out all kinds of these experts and professors and stuff and they don't know what to say. They don't know what to say. He didn't even hear you. He was talking the whole time he spoke. Exactly. I don't know how he knew I was wrong. He never heard me. And I'm not trying to bash him. Like I said, I don't want to bash him. I don't know what that in the middle means. Electrostatics and magnetism. But yeah, electrostatics and magnetism are the two everythings. Electrostatic acceleration is magnetism, more specifically dielectric. Incoherent dielectric acceleration is a way of saying incoherent magnetism. I'd said incoherent dielectric acceleration. He's just saying I'm using words to try to sound smart and bamboozle people. And I guess their narrative is that I do all that to sound smart to trick people so I can make money. Dude, I barely make any money. Like I'm trying to tell the people that watch this, like, look, support what you like or it goes away. And if you support the idea of me like going all in on this channel and making a lot of content and doing all these interviews and all these debates and all these different videos and edited videos and all the time it takes to do it and to go visit different podcasts and stuff, doing interviews and have different guests on and make my music. And if I want to do it all full time, make content on all these different realms, I have a whole bunch of experiments. If you guys support that and you really want me to be able to do that, then help me out and like support the channel by donating. You can sign up to be a member down there. And I'm not trying to sound like an infomercial. I'm just addressing the general sentiment in this stream. Okay. I'm not begging, or you can call whatever you want to. I'm just explaining the objective reality here, which is that it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. I look into a lot of information and like doing debates is exhausting. And like, we need to support people. Like I have tons of people on my Patreon list that I support. I donate to people. I support people all the time because I believe in it. I believe that if you don't support what you like or it goes away, and we're super censored. And like, whether it's me or not, you guys need to support people that you put towards the top of who you like to facilitate some of this truth to different people and wake them up. You need to pick out people. It doesn't even have to be me, right? But I mean this sincerely. I truly believe in this. I think it's very important whoever you like to watch the most, or you want to put towards like waking other people up, or you want to send them their content, send other people their content, you need to support them. If people are putting a lot of time into making videos or editing videos, or like a conspiracy music guru, you like his music, right? You see that Jaren's streaming all the time. Like, you need to support people so that they can do that. We need to come around each other and build it up, and we need to step our game up. And that's all I'll really say about that. Just in general, like that's just, it's common sense, right? We don't have the luxury of getting ad revenue. Like, I get copyright struck every single time. I don't get ad revenue. You know what I'm saying? I hope someday that I will work at Witsit Corporation. All right, man. I don't remember to hire you, bro. In a World Productions. But yeah, I forgot even what I was gonna say. You guys get it. So just support what you like, or it goes away. And we don't need to go away. I guess my point is, yeah, we don't get ad revenue. We're not propped up with algorithms. We can't just go post things on Instagram and post things on YouTube and like we're actively censored. And so the community itself, we have to rally around each other, support each other, lift each other up. And when we're doing good, we help the other people, and it'll come back around. Like I said, you walk in the hotel and then the cycle and door keeps coming around. We have to do that. We have to breathe life into each other. And I get, you know, it's hard for some people that don't have money to donate like that. Like, everyone has a little bit they can facilitate. Just in principle, you should try to support truthers if it means a lot to you and you watch a lot of their content and blah, blah, blah. Whoever you watch a lot, you need to pick some people out of principle. I think it's good for you. It's good for like your spirit to support truth like that, and also to facilitate truth yourself. But beyond that, like just sharing it, that's also like sharing it, liking it, to try to help with the algorithms and stuff. Like, reach out to someone, be like, hey, do you need some help with clipping your videos, or like help people out? Like, we need to rally around each other and stop doing all the infighting. And like I said, some people deserve to be kind of excommunicated in a way, and don't support them. Whoever's toxic and you think bringing down the vibe of the community, then don't support them, support other people. And that's my big thing. And another thing is I want to do a lot of experiments. And so that's something else we need to do. But yeah, I mean, everyone's going to have to come together to help me out with that. Not just me, but in general, like do the experiments with me so we can cross-reference our tests. We've got to step our game up. That's what I think. I think that we've become stagnant. We're kind of sitting here, and Flat Earth has got to step their game up, because we're not just flat earthers. We know all kinds of truth. We're discovering all kinds of things. We're the group that can get to where we're going to make free energy, right? I want to make an electrostatic gravity theory. I want to kind of get on the same path of this new dynamic theory of gravity that Tesla had. And Austin, pipe dream. Like, okay, well, we have to do something. We have to be more about action, bro. We have to start doing something. And then who's to say we can't have quote unquote free energy? Because the energy is already free. It's just about harnessing it perpetual without loss. And they told you that you can't. And then they told you they don't know how to define electrostatics, magnetism, or electricity. So how could we ever harness it? We don't know what it is. It's basically magic, virtual photons. And we're brainwashed with atomism and particle physics and pseudoscience and heliocentrism. And the idea we're spinning, but we can't fill in, revolving in a vacuum and defying physics. And what is the ether? That can't exist. That was disproven. And what's a vortex in the ether? And how do we tap it? And we need to come together. So I am doing the double slit recently, or like soon. I'm trying to build a ferrocell. I can't really afford. They're called optical flats to make a good ferrocell. So I went ahead and spent money and got everything else for a ferrocell. Like, that's what you can see the magnets under, a dope little ferrocell. I got most of the stuff I need for that, but you have to get optical flats. So I have to wait till I can save up some money for those. But I want to show you guys all kinds of things. I have like experimental ideas to show you guys, and I'm going to start recording it in high definition, like try to professionally edit it, professional quality, and like go through experiments. And that's what we need to do. And I think that we need to all focus on stuff like this. Like I'm sorry, I'm just kind of ranting. I'm ranting right now. Take it or leave it. So like the selenilian eclipse, right? That happens in November. Of course, the selenilian eclipse debunks the Earth. Debunks the globe Earth claim, right? It debunks the Earth. So you have the sun and the moon above the Earth during the eclipse. They claim, of course, that the Earth blocks the sun and casts a shadow onto the moon, but it can't do that. It's a geometric impossibility if the sun and the moon are both above the Earth. That happens on the east coast of the United States in November. Every single flat earther with a camera should go record that. They should meet up with people around them. They should all go record it. They should have numerous different angles. They should have people recording it. We should have every different angle along the east coast. We have to start doing stuff, okay? We need to start doing stuff. And also a bunch of people, I'm going to try to set this up. We have a couple months where a bunch of the flat earthers set up a pendulum, a Foucault's pendulum during the eclipse. to try to see if we can observe the Elias effect, which is where the pendulum goes the opposite way during the eclipse. If that happens, it debunks the claim that it's the Earth spinning that causes the pendulum. Now, of course, it automatically is pretty much bankrupt to claim that anyway. You don't have an independent frame of reference that's still attached to the Earth. You have to start it yourself and blah, blah, blah. But there is some precession, and it looks like it's because there's a movement in the sky. And if during the eclipse, the pendulum goes the opposite way, it shows you it's definitely because of what's in the sky. And that's messing with the field of energy, altering it, changing it, shifting it, and causing the pendulum to go the other way. It's called the Elias effect. It's been buried. Mainstream will tell you no one's been able to replicate it, and it was fluke, and it wasn't real because they can't say it's real. It debunks that they claim the Earth is spinning and that they detect it with the pendulum. And so we should be doing that on the selenium eclipse. We could debunk the globe and the heliocentric model 2 ways, and we should have everyone trying to do it. We should have like 20 different people at least doing the pendulum. We should have like 20 different videos of the thing with P900s and P1000s and DSLRs, and we need to start stepping our game up. Anyway, sorry, I'm just kind of ranting. I'm also doing the double slit soon, so I went ahead and bought stuff for the double slit. But I spent a few $100, like a few $100 on stuff for this, like neodymium magnets and all these different things. So I'm tapped out. Like I just, I'm trying, but yeah, we need to support each other. If you guys want to see me keep doing experiments, then you just have to have faith. That's when I'm a trustworthy person that's going to put out the stuff that's going to help if you support the channel. And we need to all be kind of trying to do stuff like this. So I got the double slit. I'm trying to do the Michelson-Morley, the Cavendish, but prove that it's electrostatics. And I'm going to try to work on all these experiments to verify and validate the whole electrostatic theory I'm going to put forth. And I want to get a Van de Graaff generator. I know there is one down the road for me, but like Zach has one, but I also want one. I want to experiment with these things. I have a bunch of crazy ideas already. And I think this is what we do. We need to keep our head up. We need to look at the future. We need to look up. We need to elevate. We need to stop living in boxes of confinement and just sit here and pout and be like, well, oh man, we're not going to be able to do anything until we get past the 60 south latitude and the government finally listens to us and lets us out of our circle. That's not how it works. No, you just start crushing. You just start changing the world. You just come up with ways to figure stuff out about energy. We come up with experiments. We start figuring out what's going on with the downward bias, the electrostatic nature of the Earth. We start figuring out what is lightning, what is a sprite, what is a lightning ball, what are all these things? How can we manipulate things? How can we prove what's going on? This is how we're going to elevate. And this is when Flat Earth is going to change the game. This is when we're going to force them to recognize us, right? If a Flat Earther comes out tomorrow and was able to facilitate a free energy device to everyone that's super cheap and the only maintenance cost, the only cost is the maintenance cost, initial cost and maintenance cost, bro, that's going to do more for Flat Earth than ever. You come out with all these different theories that are irrefutable and more accurate and tangibly provable scientifically, like electrostatic theory of all things, or you come up with a different version of it. I don't want to give a bunch of stuff away that I'm already thinking about. And it has the math to back it. It has the experiments to back it. Like, this is how you change the game, bro. This is how we change the game. We're not going to stay in a little box and talk about the sextant for 17 days. And then we're going to talk about the black swan for 17 days, then go back to the sextant for 17 days. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep elevating, right? We need to keep changing the game. We need to figure out what's going on, what's up with this vortex. And I'm ranting. This is old school content right here where I just start ranting. But hopefully you guys kind of feel I'm being genuine, and I hope that maybe inspires you to realize, like, yo, we're that group of people that really has responsibility. Like, we're the ones that can change the game. We're like this special little remnants of people that are starting to wake up. And I think we live in the time of great awakening, in the time of great deception. And, a lot of you people are probably being called to the Creator, have a relationship with Him, and He loves you. And that's true. You said yeah, save the theological debates and all that. Yes. And, you have been given eyes to see, and you've been inspired. And since you sought out the truth, you're being rewarded. And, yeah, not to get too mushy on you, but it's important that we kind of, like, I just have this feeling that we're going to do epic things. This channel is going to do epic things, and this community as a whole is. And I don't want, you might think it's cliche or whatever. And I know that, like, people are going to be hating on me so hard about this rant or whatever. I don't care. Who cares what people think, bro? So, like, we live in a time where everyone's just confused and deluded and sunken in depravity. And some of us have to be legends. Oh, I don't know what magnetism is. I just want a chip in my brain. Like, okay, bro. Okay, we're going to figure out what's going on. So I think we need to all rally around each other. I guess you guys get it. Sorry if that was redundant, but I just think it's important. I think it's important that we start doing something. I love you, Austin. You're real, and thank you, man. Be real refreshing. Thank you. All right. So let's keep going. I love your rants. It comes from the soul, no doubt. Yeah. In a time. We're in a time. Bow. In a time, take the time to divine. Who? Divine. Actually, that was an old bar. I don't really like it anymore because it insinuates something I maybe wouldn't want interpreted. Roll the footage.
I know you guys don't believe it. I'm just saying, if gravity was true, you guys realize it'd be ridiculous. You know, things would all go towards the center. But I know you don't believe it. I don't. Well, this is okay. If you had a disk and gravity was real, which you guys say it's not, the center of mass.
Like, no one thinks that there's a disk, and no one thinks there's a center of mass anything, bro. Obviously, my goodness.
Mass is going to be right here, right?
We don't believe in gravity pulling to the center. So why don't bother showing that? That's an old Vsauce video.
My whole point is that you can't believe in gravity because it's never going to work on a flat.
I see you say just sent you a nickel 250. In a world where no one knows what the world is, who will prevail? And PayPal kicked me out of my account. I'll read off any donations that I get. Thank you very much, Jeff, for the generous donation on PayPal, brother. I guess you said it. Thank you for the $50 donation, my guy. Much love. Your effort. I don't know, but thank you very much, man. That means a lot. I appreciate it, bro. Very generous of you. And I'll check anything else on PayPal or Cash App by the end of the thing. But oh, sorry, I wasn't on camera. Hey, thank you, bro. Thank you, man. You the real one. And residual is really gonna help me out as well. Like, just become a member, bro, or don't become a member, man. Don't make it weird. Austin, stop talking about supporting the channel. How dare you, Austin? How dare you? Yeah. Go watch Harry Mack, the Go to Freestyle. I turned Jaren on him a year ago, and he will be making raps like a pro after watching him a few times. I've heard of Harry Mack. I used to do a couple freestyles at the beginning, but it was hard to do it. I could probably do it on this computer super easy. Maybe we should do a freestyle. How dare you? Roll the footage.
No, we don't believe in that fairy tale of gravity. Gravity is nothing more than incoherent dielectric acceleration. If you want to get super technical, it's not point specific.
So look, okay, Amelia, it's not dielectric. Dielectric means electrostatic, my guy. That's what it actually means. Ask them for the definition of mass. Yeah, that's a great question. They don't know. Into the break. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Much appreciated, bro. Ask them for the definition of mass. It's got like 5 different definitions or something. Conceptual quantification of matter in many different ways. And they love to use charge. You know why? Because all matter is held together by charge. I use the word electrostatics a lot, but it's because everyone kind of has heard it, kind of understands it. They see phenomena with it. They understand. But really, the actual original term would be dielectric. And they're like, oh, no, not dielectric. Oh, man, because dielectric's like, okay, like they're thinking of a dielectric medium, like insulators, like rubber and glass. And, it's called dielectric because it has dielectric permittivity, meaning that it can like store the electrostatics, the dielectricity much more efficiently, but it has low magnetic permeability. Okay. And we'll cover this stuff in depth more back in the day, but I mean, later, in the future, but dielectric permittivity, magnetic permeability, something's dielectric material because it has low magnetic permeability. And so we use dielectric mediums for a bunch of things because it's able to really store the electrostatics, the dielectricity, right? But that's not what the word dielectric means in and of itself. Like dielectric means electrostatic. It's intrinsic charge. In fact, it would be the ether under strain. But anyway, that's what holds everything together. And, what we call static electricity is, as Tesla would coin it, the ether under strain. And then, of course, the ether thrown into motion in a dynamic state would be magnetism and electricity. So what holds everything together is this intrinsic resonance, charge, vibration, oscillation. Not to completely conflate those two. We'll have to talk about that stuff. It's more technical in the future. But anyway, this guy said it's not dielectric because he doesn't understand it. And that's why, yeah, we do need to debate. And I'll debate you for 5 hours because I think it'll be so beneficial for everyone to hear, oh, well, you're not understanding the terms. We'll have to employ the Socratic method so you know exactly what I'm saying, and people can start to learn these things. And I think we really need to grow. We need to build. Anyone trying to shut down flat earthers or truthers trying to figure out stuff like magnetism and redefine our terms properly and figure out what's going on can go all the way over there and kick rocks. You know what I'm saying, though? Roll the footage.
Okay,
It's incoherent electrostatic acceleration.
Forget all that. That's why I jumped over. That's why I jumped over. So I just want to show why it can't be density.
Oh, he said Bryant. Isn't this another guy? Yeah, Bryant. This guy's Bryant. This guy's a physics BSMA in physics. Not like Brian. Like we don't know anything about anything, but you can't use a Van de Graaff generator. Not that guy.
You don't think it's density and
which, by the way, I'm not trying to like really hate on him. He again, I have respect that he actually came and he talked, and I have respect for people that are like at least come and talk. I don't know what it is about when they debate me. People do not want to let me finish. People do not like to let me talk. It's really crazy, bro. All right, maybe.
That's the thing is you guys can't agree upon. Is it electromagnetic?
We don't group think like the cult.
No, the density and buoyancy sorts everything else out.
Exactly.
Density and buoyancy depends on gravity.
No, it doesn't actually. The Archimedes principle was long before the equation with G in it. So what are you? So right here's a good example. Right, he's like, it depends on it. It depends on gravity. I said actually Archimedes principle comes long before your little equation with little g in it. And he's like, oh, I know that we'll get into Archimedes. Well, no, I'm addressing your point that it needs gravity. No, it doesn't. It's a principle, right? It's a principle. Yeah, you have an equation for it, but like the idea of density and buoyancy is a principle. It's called Archimedes principle. It's from like 250 BC or something, if I'm not mistaken. Like it's long before you put a little g there. And by the way, little g is just downward acceleration. It's just the effect of when things go down and agreed upon average. It doesn't mean anything if the earth is flat, triangle, which of course flat's not a shape, right? But if it was like a freaking rectangle, if it was a globe, if it was a bigger globe, it doesn't matter what it is, you can have things go down. Actually, you can't have anything go down technically on a globe, of course. It's just omnidirectional and it's all down relative to the center of mass. It has infinite vectors as opposed to plain Earth, which has down, right? Like actual down. But anyway, I digress. I guess the point I'm making is I'll play this a couple more seconds. I'm going to explain this as well. I think people need to hear this.
Principle is well, so let's start with density. Okay, so if I have two pails of water here, they're both the same density, but yet one is obviously is weighing more than another. So if things fall down because of density, shouldn't these be the same height then, as far as the balance goes?
You have to determine what causes weight and what gives something density. So you seem to be missing the point. So you're reifying gravity with mass times gravity as weight.
Density is mass divided by volume. It's not how density is mass. These two have the same density. This amount of water, this has half the volume, twice the mass, 1/2 the mass. They have the same density.
There's a different amount of them.
It's a different amount, right? But you say things fall because of density. They don't fall because of density. So
okay, first of all, you're talking about weight, which is if you have two.
Yeah,
you're saying if you have 2 liters of water, it pulls something down more than 1 liter of water. But
you got to slow boil them. You reveal you know more than them too quickly. Takes longer and requires lots of patience, but they hang themselves eventually. That's pretty good advice. I think you may be right. I guess what I just like. Why can't he just respond to what I actually say though? Right when I say it, you know. That way we can have like a really efficient conversation. I hear what you're saying, but I guess that is a problem I have. I'm not like I'm tactical in the sense I like to lead people in a debate, like and set them up. But yeah, I'm impatient. I'm impatient in debate. I'm like, I just addressed this whole thing. I'm like, well, you have to define what weight is. Someone's like, what do you mean? That's what you should say is, what do you mean define weight? That's what an intellectual, honest response would be. What do you mean we have to define weight? It's mass times gravity. And I'd be like, okay, you see the point here. You're reifying gravity, which is what is in contention. Actually, that's just downward acceleration, not exclusive to the idea of any type of cause claim. And so what exactly is that? Well, it's incoherent dielectric acceleration, and weight's actually relative to a few different variables, one of them being vector, magnitude, right, which of course is direction and magnitude. We have coherency, right? So if you have a magnet and you drop it over a place on the earth that has a bunch of like metal composition, like metallic composition in the ground, and you drop a magnet over, is it going to drop faster than 9.8 meters per second squared? Yes, that's right, because it's coherency specific, right? And again, vector specific, which is direction and magnitude. Of course, we also have medium specific, right? So like if a little girl tries to push a sumo wrestler, she can't, but if he's in like a pool, she can walk over there and push him, right? Because of the medium specific. And so actually W equals mg is not in any way an accurate definition. It doesn't even account for all the variables. It's not an accurate equation. But just saying, oh, well, things go down, and then when things go down, we set them on a weight, we get downward pressure over a certain area, and then we measure it with our quantification method, right? Whatever it is that you weigh yourself in. These are all conventions, like conceptual quantification methods. They're valuable or whatever. But the point is that it's just begging the question of gravity, being, what you think it is. And again, the whole trick is, and he came in here thinking this, I don't know why he wants to debate me one-on-one. I'm all for it. I would hope to have talk to him behind the scenes and have a more respectful exchange. So maybe we can have really people can learn within it. But again, it's like redefining weight and just begging the question of gravity. I don't even have to change the equation. I can use your equation and show that you're still wrong about what it is. Right? Because if I take a Van de Graaff generator and I put a scale in there, and then I put something that weighs a pound, let's say I put something that weighs 0.1 pounds, and then I turn the Van de Graaff generator up and it starts to float, how much does it weigh then? How much does it weigh whenever I make it float with electrostatics? So I'm manipulating the weight. That's just to kind of give you a visualization and conceptualization of exactly what's being said here. Why weight is always relative to electrostatics, and everything that goes down is electrostatic acceleration. And then this comes full circle. I'm talking fast now. It's late tonight, This comes full circle to what exactly is gravity. Well, you have gravitas coming from gravis. So you have like heavy. So how like weight, how heavy something is. Or also it was used for like, oh, that's heavy, like emotionally heavy, like, or even deep, right? And so when you say gravity, it's like heavy, like how heavy something is, like its weight. That's what gravitas actually means. That's what gravity means. It's just a word. And so we're not too far off when we say downward acceleration, because, well, to weigh something or how heavy it is, well, the way that we weigh it is it has downward acceleration, and we set it on a scale, and it, puts a certain amount of pressure over a certain area. Okay. So all this is, well, that object that you weigh is electrostatic, and what holds it together is electrostatic. And to actually get an accurate denotation of density on like the smallest scale, you're going to have to look at charge. You're going to have to always account for, electrostatics and the charge that holds it together. You can ask anyone that specializes in the field. They're going to know this. And so like your density, which is compactness of matter, like you said, mass over volume. Well, okay, you got mass and volume, right? But what is mass? And they don't even know how to define it, just like the super chat said. But that's just a conceptual quantification of matter. I'm sorry, I'm talking fast. I get it. So it's a conceptual quantification of matter. Yeah, we get that. Okay, a certain volume with a certain amount of mass, but it's compactness of matter, right? Like that's what density is. We have different compactness of like different levels of compactness of matter. Well, think about this. If I have, this is going to be a crude analogy, but say I have like this knob, and I turn it. As I turn it, it turns up the charge, and it's going to draw stuff into it stronger and stronger. As I turn the knob, then the attractive force gets stronger and stronger, okay? Well, then it's going to bring stuff into it tighter and tighter and tighter, right? Compactness of matter. You can't have density. So whenever flat earthers say it's just density and buoyancy, well, what gives something its density, right? And flat earthers would never have an answer. Well, everything's intrinsically electrostatic. All molecular and intermolecular attractive forces are electrostatic in nature. I know you guys have heard me say it a lot. I'm hoping it rubs off and you guys remember it. Right now, molecules are a convention, but it's definitely good to just decapitate the modern pseudoscience. Molecules are way more like in the realm of validly being used than like atoms and all this nonsense, right? We can see compilations of molecules. We actually can. And so anyway, my entire point is, and again, it's just a convention really overall. But the point is that all molecular and intermolecular attractive forces are electrostatic in nature. What that means is we see when we look at what holds stuff together, matter together, it's all electrostatic. Everything's held together by it. Doesn't matter if you say it's neutral, positive, or negative. There's no such thing as positive charge and negative charge. There's just charge and discharge. If something's neutral, it still has electrostatic potential because there's still a charge there. Everything has a charge. Everything is held together by a charge, right? And then I would like to, I don't have time tonight, but like we'll go into like exactly what is charge. Can we properly define charge? What is energy? What is electrostatics? What is magnetism? We'll cover a bunch of this stuff in the future. It fills me. And we're going to be having more like specific types of shows. So we'll cover this in like maybe one of the flat earth shows. Austin, he was wrong when saying the Earth's electric field decreases with increase in altitude, right? Or was he talking about something else? Yes, he was wrong. He said, so it actually increases with 100 or to 120 volts per meter as you go up. He's trying to say that, well, when you get high enough, it changes. And he's like, when you get to the ionosphere, okay. I said, how high is the ionosphere? And he said, pretty high. He didn't know. They say it's like 50 to 400 miles. Oh, you mean like right around where they don't let us go, where we can't verify at all, where they claim there's a vacuum sitting next to a pressurized system? 50 miles when they say like at 60 you have the Kármán line of space. So like, why are you making claims about this? You don't know anything about that. You don't know what you're talking about. But of course it looks like it's yeah, there's basically like a plate, like a Gaussian surface. So the ground is the Gaussian surface. There's a Gaussian surface above us, wherever the container is. And that's what gives you this perfect gradient. You have to have the two Gaussian surfaces, and then you have a perfect gradient. You can replicate this on a small scale, which, like I said, this is the kind of stuff I want to replicate. I just need to get funds for like the tools for the experiments. But I want to show you guys that you can like literally replicate. And shout out to Good Times for All, GUTTIMS for all on YouTube. Zach, he does demonstrate a lot of this, and I want to just do kind of what he's doing also, just like I want to do my own thing, my own way, like a little bit more intricate, and I want to really professionally document it, and I want to start kind of teaching this stuff. And let's say as I start to learn it, because I'm not claiming to know all things. I certainly am not. I just think that when I can really grasp it, I have like a responsibility to do my best to try to articulate it to you guys so you can equip yourself with a better understanding of the world. And long story short, that's right. He was incorrect. And he's just saying that when objectively that's not what happens. And we can prove it with what's called a corona motor, which I'll show you guys a video of in a second. Have you heard of Aaron Murakami? He don't subscribe to Flat Earth, I think, but he's done research on ether based off Eric Dollard. His channel is Interesting Vids. I have not. That sounds cool. I'm going to type him in. I will look into him, my brother. Thank you for the super chat. Much love. Greatly appreciated. All right. So, yeah, I'll show you the corona motor in a second, but yeah, and I'll answer some of you guys' questions. We'll watch a few more minutes of it. I'll just kind of chat with you guys if you have questions about it. Like I said, I just encourage you guys to go watch it, and then just know we're not going to leave you hanging. We're going to discuss this in detail. Like I said, I literally want to formulate an intricate electrostatic theory and prove it with experimentation. I just have to get to where I can do it. I have to start getting my schedule set where you guys will see it. I'll post the calendar. You guys will see the specific times for the shows and the debate shows, different types of shows. And then I'll have my schedule. Then I'll work in, like I have to still do this legal stuff on the side where I have to be like a little on the side lawyer, which is very time consuming, by the way. That's not very easy. And then I also have to take care of the stuff at the house, takes care of the stuff outside, and then have to try to integrate working out, then try to have to integrate this. And then I want to do experiments as well. Long story short, I just have to get it where it's all in order and I'm able to do it, and I'm able to afford to buy a bunch of these different things I need for the experiments. Now, I don't know. I haven't decided like if I should maybe like tell you guys the experiments I'm doing and like, you know, experiment by experiment, and then show what I need to get so you guys can literally see what it costs and that the money goes straight to it. Maybe I'll do that. I think a lot of people that do support me know that I'm honest and I'm not lying about anything that I'm doing. And I just put hundreds. I put like a few $100 of what I had into it already. Because I'm passionate about this. I think it's important. I think we all need to start doing this. I'll stop ranting about it, but we need to figure stuff out, bro. I'm getting so frustrated. And then I hear people with these credentials, they're just over here just like poo-pooing on everything, don't know anything. And it's just like, oh, wow, you can regurgitate your textbook to me, but not very efficiently. Then I have to sit here and wait on you. And it's like, yo, dude, trust me, the world's crazier than you think. Energy is a crazy thing. And in fact, if you want to know what I think, the world has not properly defined energy. And I would say pressure mediation, but that's still crude. Saying it's the ability or capacity to do work is what something does, not what something is. That's not an answer. If I ask you what humans are, define humans, and you say humans breathe oxygen, I'm like, okay, cool. Humans can breathe oxygen, but what are they? I would say pressure mediation, but more specifically, and this is not everyone's at the spiritual level to even grasp this. I think the actual source in this, we'll call it metaphysical, although it interacts physically in certain modalities within this background, right? It's actually sentience, will, intelligence. There's a creative force of intelligence that creates this dynamic state of the ether. Like I said, I'll wrap this up in a second because I can tell since I'm already tired. I don't have any ability to not talk real fast when I'm trying to explain this stuff. I know some of you guys will enjoy it though, so. Roll some more of the footage.
Water has the same density. Yeah, it makes density is part of the thing that determines it going down, right? And then how much you have is going to have a certain amount of downward pressure.
Okay, but that's mass.
That's,
I mean, yeah.
Now you're okay, cool. I just explained everything that's material is electrostatic. So what gives something mass? What gives something its density? What gives something weight? Electrostatics is what holds it together. It's not gravity. Gravity's not holding the molecules together.
So at higher.
Yeah, exactly. So what gives it weight? Wow, dude, I'm gonna play that back for a second because just think about this.
First of all, you're talking about weight, which is if you have two, you're saying if you have 2 liters of water, it pulls something down more than 1 liter of water, but water has the same density. Yeah, it makes density is part of the thing that determines it going down, right? And then how much you have is going to have a certain amount of downward pressure.
Okay, but that's mass. I mean, yeah.
Now you're okay, cool. I just explained everything that's material is electrostatic. So what gives something mass? What gives something its density? What gives something weight? Electrostatics is what holds it together. It's not gravity. Gravity's not holding the molecules together.
So at higher air density, things weigh more. So again,
what?
So you guys deny gravity, but
he just literally breezed right past everything I said, dude. BS, MA, and physics, breezed right past everything that I said. Now watch what happens. He doesn't know what to do. This threw him off his game. And like I said, respect you for coming on. I think we do need a full month before you debate me. Really research it. I'll look into my position, and then we'll have a very good informative debate that will be respectful. I don't want to interrupt you. I don't want you to interrupt me. It would be cool if we could just do it where you come on my channel and we can just be respectful adults where you're able to talk, I'm able to talk. I did it with Brian. Brian started interrupting me in the middle, but I tried not to ever interrupt him. I tried to keep it cordial. I'm definitely capable of having a full cordial intellectual exchange where both people get to do things or get to fully say their point. If you don't agree or we don't think that's possible, because it doesn't seem like that might be possible with what happened, then we'll get a moderator that's fair and honest to come in here and just kind of facilitate things. And we can do it on my channel, or maybe we could do it on MDD or something. But I think that the pressure of like that external channel, it might change things. But yeah, I mean, either way, we'll figure it out. And I think that having some time where you can really think about what I said and really just try to pay attention to it. And hopefully just don't back out, bro. Don't back out of the debate, because I think it's going to be valuable for people. I can learn things from you, right? I'm not saying I know all things. I'm not claiming to be like some savant genius that literally knows everything. I don't. I'm still learning things all the time. And I think we can learn from each other and have a respectful conversation. And we can be a good example of how people should build off of each other. And that's how we make progress. It's going to have a certain amount of downward pressure. Just watch his response, though, to everything that I said.
That's mass. I mean, yeah.
Now you're okay, cool. I just explained everything that's material is electrostatic. So what gives something mass? What gives something its density? What gives something weight? Electrostatics is what holds it together. It's not gravity. Gravity's not holding the molecules together.
So at higher air density, things weigh more. So again,
what?
So you guys deny gravity, but so at lower altitude, the air is more dense.
Okay.
And things and objects will weigh. Okay,
a helium balloon on either low.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm saying I threw him off, bro. Like I don't think this guy is stupid by any stretch. But if you come in and want to defend the mainstream narrative and you have a predetermination that flat earthers are stupid and just say density and don't understand it, well, you know, and I'm not saying just because flat earthers say that they're stupid. They're way more accurate when they say, "Oh no, the bending and warping of space time is not it." But anyway,
gravity. So at lower altitude, the air is more dense.
Okay.
So, and things and objects will weigh. Okay,
a helium balloon.
Whew, that was brutal. So, just so you guys know, so. Lower air density objects weigh less. Interesting. That's very interesting. So you mean like higher up in the electrical field? Interesting. I wonder why. That is. Dun. I can't give everything away, though, that my direct rebuttals to some of his stuff, I can't give everything away, right? Because we're going to debate, and I want there to be something to debate, or we may not have it, but anyway.
on either low altitude or high altitude is doing the same thing. A golf ball is doing the same thing. It's density and buoyancy sorting everything else.
And we have an electric
everything
gradient.
else out.
Sorry. We have electric gradient on the Earth, bro. So like 100 volts per meter. So yeah, we have an electric gradient. We have a pressure gradient. That's cool. There's a bunch of reasons we have a pressure gradient, which has to be contained, but I think you're going to get to that later. So anyway, the point is that there's listen, man, there's electrics that sets the up and down, okay, on the flat plane Earth. And then density and buoyancy, why does it not work? Because it's provable and measurable, and yours is a fairy tale that can't be proven at all.
Okay,
so
well, first of all, again, I know the electric fields of the Earth. So we know.
I asked you why it didn't work, bro. Why? I said, why doesn't it work? First of all, I know the electrical fields on the Earth.
The gravitational field, again, we can measure this, is relatively constant across the surface. You know, you can actually measure the gravity. Again, okay, gravitational acceleration. You guys call it 9.8 meters per second. You call it whatever, atmospheric acceleration, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what
atmospheric acceleration. No, that's the problem with not genuinely operating in good faith in a debate. And I empathize with you 4v1, right? But when I said incoherent dielectric acceleration, you should have been like, what does that mean? That doesn't even mean anything. Even if you said that, I would have taken that as an honest rebuttal, or this, you addressed it, right? So I'd be like, no, this is what it means. This is what incoherent means. This is what dielectric means. This is, of course, what acceleration means. So I even say a second, I'm like, to say it simpler, right? You could say it's electrostatic acceleration, right? But incoherent dielectric acceleration is the hyperspecific accurate denotation of what it is, and that it's not point specific. Anyway, long story short, so how do you get these alleged measurement readings that he's showing right here on the screen? How do you get these measurement readings of the downward acceleration, or what they call gravity? Again, little g, downward acceleration, doesn't prove gravity. It's just downward acceleration, just the effect. If gravity was real, that would just be the effect of it, right? But anyway, what they use is something called a gravimeter. Okay, so it's like a little vacuum chamber. It's called a gravimeter. And then they drop a little BB inside of it, and they use interferometry. So like these little tiny, really fast cross patterns of lasers, right? So these like laser cross patterns, interferometry, the BB drops in it and it measures it. So it gets the exact speed within like the interferometry, the little lasers that shoot and get like precise measurements, right? And so then it's able to detect how fast, to like a lot of decimal places, very sensitive, precise measurement of how quickly it drops. Then they take this box around the world and they see what the difference is. The difference isn't like significant or anything like that. Of course, looking into that, they have a bunch of algorithms and presuppositions built into them. Typically, they're like $20,000, and like they're only given to you with like grants most of the time. Only universities have them. Like, who's going to go buy a gravity meter? I call it Grabler meter. Who's going to go buy a Grabler meter for 20 grand, right? But anyway, that's how they get these readings. And the point is that BB is electrostatic, that box is electrostatic. Vacuum chambers don't remove electrostatics. So everything in the actual measurement is electrostatic. You're literally measuring electrostatic acceleration, and it changes. So the question should be why. And actually, it doesn't match the claims about mass, that it's just simply about mass. Well, the measurements don't match it. In your globe model, what you claim about the masses, they don't even match it. So it's crazy that people invoke this just because, again, it's just the illusory confidence of consensus. But basically his argument here, I'll let him kind of finish it, and then I'll explain what's wrong with it to an extent. But I can't just fully explain everything because, like I said, I want this to be one of the many credentialed people that I end up debating here soon. And I'm probably going to stream for like another 30 minutes maybe, and then I'll have to tap because it's 2:10 here. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't want to leave you guys hanging because I haven't streamed in a while because we were out of town, and then I did this debate last night. So incoherent dielectric acceleration.
Okay, whatever. So whatever this number is an empirical number, whatever you want to call it, can be measured across the Earth. And it's roughly by very high precision, the same across all of Earth. Again, this is empirical, measurable. You
can welcome to the flat Earth. Yeah.
Okay, right. So you don't disagree. So now the problem with electricity, and when you guys use the 100, and I wrote about this in my book, so I know the global electrics very well. So the problem is that the electric potentials across the globe. There's a really good study by Carnegie. Well, I'm just trying to show you globe, though, bro. I mean, no. Listen, I'm trying to show you.
See, I shouldn't have interrupted there. Like, I shouldn't have interrupted. I feel kind of bad. Like I said, I think this guy has like genuine intentions behind him, right? And I felt bad because I felt like he did feel like he was ambushed because he went in there thinking like, oh, I had this home run presentation, and then, I was there. And he didn't really know that I was going to be there ready to push back against everything. And he thought this was like his home run. Like, like I said, I try to empathize with people, and I have respect for people who have credentials and come on and do something like this. And so I'm willing to have a conversation with them out of respect. I think we need to try to always exercise some empathy and some patience and some kindness and understand, like, look, dude, put yourself in his shoes and you can understand like maybe why that was a bit much. And he felt kind of like, dang, bro, I wasn't given too fair of a chance. To be fair, he was allowed to talk like 80% of the time, but anyway, I always just try to be nice and see the best in people, man. That's just what I found that's the best way to be. Not to a naive extent, but if people are going to screw you over, then let it be. I look at that the same way as I look at money. It's like, yeah, like I go through times like right now where like I had my bank account just like what's going on? Like the little bit of money I had there, like all the money, like there's all this fraudulent activity, or like they just took all this money on my account or whatever. And I basically have no money, but even in moments like this, I look at it like whatever. Like if I had like, if I get a donation and there's like $100 and then I found out that someone really needs $50, like I'll give it to them, bro. Like I'm not just saying that because I look at money like a cycle, like it's like that door. And I look at that the same way as it may be detrimental to me at times. People can try to take advantage of it. Sometimes I put myself in detrimental situations because I don't prioritize money over like morality or what I feel is important or principles, or like, for example, trying to go all in on this channel is not a good financial decision for me. Just like Flat Earth wasn't when I could have had the 6-figure job offer, but they told me to take all my Flat Earth content down and stop talking about it publicly or I couldn't have it. So I didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? But long story short, it's like I feel it can be detrimental, but I think that's what's right. And it's actually not detrimental. Like the Creator knows all things. The Creator knows the truth. The Father loves you. He's going to have your back, and always do what's right, bro. Like do what's right because that's what's important, and it's going to bless you way more. And don't do it because you think you're going to get some type of material blessing or something, because that just ruins the whole thing. It just like kills that whole vibration. And I mean like literally the vibration, the resonance, the vibration. But I mean the same. I feel the same way. And I'm kind of getting to like delirium state where I'm tired. So I'm just ranting. But yeah, like I feel the same way about people. I try to, even if it puts me in a vulnerable position of being naive at times, I'd rather try to see the good in them. Like I'm like an empath to a detriment is what I'm saying. And I think there's a good in that. Like it can be used against you, but just try. Like I felt bad for Oakley. I felt bad for him. You know, isn't that weird? Like when he was doing all that, and like I felt bad for him in a weird way, and like I felt bad for QE, and like I feel bad for him, and he's like not even anywhere close to like the benevolence or malice from that. But like in this weird way, I can't help but put myself in their shoes and like feel bad for them and like empathize with them. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see the best in people, and I want this guy to be able to like overcome this, where he ends up being like a legend for the truth or something. Like maybe you say pipe dreams, but I think it's important to be like this. So he said 6-figure job offer. Sure. She did. Oh, you think I just made that up? What a loser. It's a sales rep job. So I'm not going to actually get into the specifics. I guess I could tell you guys exactly who, but it doesn't matter, bro. In a world where we got trolls in the chat that think I'm stupid and don't like me, but they sit in my chat and watch me rant on camera at 2 a.m. How is 100K normal when most people are in poverty? I don't know what you're talking about. What does that mean? How's it normal? What are you talking about? I didn't get the job, bro. What are you talking about? It's like, oh man. See, that's another thing. I just try to be transparent with people and look at it immediately. Look what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess you just have to realize some people just suck, bro. Some people just suck. They just want to talk before they listen. Like that's kind of what was going on here. Just talk before you listen.
The electric.
They love it when you talk dirty to them. That's pretty funny. It's like low key, probably what it is.
Potentials across the globe. There's a really
good
study by Carnegie. Well, I'm just
trying to show you that, though, bro. I mean,
no. Listen, I'm trying to show you that this is very uniform.
Let's see. What does it say? Even the greatest of kung fu fighters can be defeated at any time by any opponent. Jackie Chan. That's a pretty good quote. I like it, bro. Electrostatics is the reason I can't dunk. That's hilarious, bro. Upside down guy. Gamma's gonna gamma. Yeah.
Constant. The electric field across the earth varies wildly. It's not a constant thing like gravity. So you can't use electricity to describe 9.8 meters per second squared. It just doesn't work.
So we're basically saying that, look, we see that this 9.8 per second squared is pretty consistent across the whole Earth or whatever, and the electrical field in the Earth is not. Therefore, you cannot claim that it's electric. It's electricity that does it. Really? Because the actual fundamental building blocks of all matter itself is electric. So anything that's falling down is automatically prerequisite of any description of it, no matter what it is, no matter what you describe, whether gravity is supposed to exist, no matter what. Everything that falls is electrostatic. If it falls, if it goes up, if it goes to the side, if it does a dab, if it starts doing little spins, if it jumps on the tippy toes, it doesn't matter what it does. It's all electrostatic, all of it. So everything is electric. That's the first step. So if something falls down, seeing as how literally everything's electrostatic, that right there was electrostatic acceleration objectively. Objectively, no matter what anyone says, it was electrostatic acceleration. Objectively, because it was electrostatic. So that is a descriptor, a qualitative descriptor of the event, the phenomena. Simple, right? So for one, at the bare minimum, we're acknowledging what's just objectively there, that it gets overlooked and has been thrown away because they had to make up a new fairy tale called gravity to explain why water bends around a ball and sticks to the exterior of it as it spins and wobbles in a vacuum going around the sun, and that gravity pulls it around the sun and pulls all these other things in its gravity well around the sun because electrostatics wasn't strong enough. The intrinsic electric resonance in nature of everything that exists on the Earth and all material composition, like the intrinsic electrostatic nature of it, wasn't strong enough. Electrostatics is not strong enough. Although on the smallest scale, electrostatics is 10 to the 36th or 39th power stronger than gravity even claims to be, it is still way too weak for any of these absurd, asinine claims of gigantic planetary bodies in a vacuum moving around each other at great distances with great masses. You need something way stronger than that. They had to make up a crazy fairy tale to explain all the stuff that's supposedly going on the Earth. And by the way, the only proof for gravity that will ever exist and has ever existed is the presupposition that the Earth is a ball. Because if the Earth is a ball, gravity must exist. So I hope that makes sense. It basically is a description. That was just to give a prerequisite for all of that. I knew I could have never described all of that to him in this moment, right? But that's why I hope we do have a conversation, because context is very important. But anyway, so he says, like, look, the 9.8 meters per second squared is pretty consistent across the whole Earth, like even distribution, which it's not. Their predictions are wrong. It's actually not completely consistent, but even the changes themselves are pretty minor. It's a good agreed upon average, certainly whenever you're just dropping something this high over and over and over and over. And if you drop something from way higher, who's to say it actually wouldn't? Do you have a vacuum chamber with like no air resistance that's like a mile high? Of course you don't. You haven't done anything like that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's just kind of this conceptual convention. It works for lots of things, right? Because the agreed upon average is pretty accurate. Okay, so no one denies that. It's not always 9.8 meters per second squared. That's not real. So it's like, oh, it's gravity that just pulls all masses down at the exact same rate. It literally doesn't, right? And we have a drop tower experiment where they dropped all kinds of different elements, which I wasn't able to bring up here, but I'm giving some of my cards away, but whatever. When you have the truth, it doesn't matter. Truth is not fear and investigation. When they dropped all kinds of different types of elements, they had different drop rates. All these different elements dropped at different rates. Okay, so there's something else to it, not just, oh, all mass gets pulled down the same. That's not actually what happens, but it doesn't matter. It's an agreed upon average of downward acceleration. The point is that, yeah, so that seems to be decently consistent, right, across the board on the Earth. And he's like, look, the electrical field varies greatly, so it can't be that. That's so like disconnected and non sequitur and irrelevant and means absolutely nothing. Now, I know that some people may not see why it means nothing. I know that some people will look at that and be like, oh, he got you. Oh, that makes sense. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. That doesn't mean anything. That means nothing. It literally means nothing. And by the way, do they claim that gravity is an even distribution across the entire Earth? Do they claim that their alleged evidence that they document the gravity with, that it actually is consistent across the whole Earth? Is it predicted to be exactly consistent across the whole Earth? These are some questions for you to ponder, my man Brian, before we debate. Shout out to my boy Black Royalty MGMT for becoming a miswit. What a legend, bro. Hey, shout out to my mans. Let's give him a round of applause. My man became a member. That's what I like. Miswit. You miswit. I remember it actually just because you did that. I was supposed to thank someone else because I missed someone else pop up. I saw on the replay that someone else became a level 2. And so I'm going to shout you out, bro. Don't you worry. So anyway, you see his argument, and it's trash. It's low-key not good. Anyway, because I'll explain it. So I explained to him like 5 times. If you watched it, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do both of these at the same time, but I explained it to him like 5 times. I'm like, no, you're not understanding. It just creates the bias. Like it creates the up and down. It's really, really weak. Electrostatics is very, 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 very weak, but it's 10 to the 36 power stronger than gravity even claims to be. Yeah, like how if I take the balloon and rub it on my head and stick it to the wall, like, yeah, it's way stronger than gravity, isn't it? Right? So anyway, and by the way, whenever that falls down, okay, it doesn't just stop being electrostatic. It just, you increase the electrostatic surface charge so it was able to stick to the wall. Then that surface charge begins to dissipate. And then it comes down to the ground to seek its equilibrium. You know, the ground with the negative surface charge, where the ground is like really close to being neutral and it has like this negative surface charge. It's coming down to the ground to ground out its energy because everything is constantly seeking equilibrium. That's why we have an up and down. That's why things go down. That's why we have a downward bias, because everything is seeking its equilibrium. That should be the only natural law. Like the real natural law is that all things seek equilibrium. All things seek equilibrium. And then it should be right underneath that as a subcategory explanation in parentheses, pressure mediation. And that is the natural law. Okay. That's what the natural law should be. Give me my Nobel Prize later. I'll take it later. But anyway, so when it falls down to the ground, right? And I'm obviously being sarcastic, sort of, kind of. Nah, I'm being sarcastic. But so anyway, when it falls down to the ground, it's still electrostatic. So it's like, oh, then gravity takes back. No, gravity doesn't take. It's still electrostatic, bro. It's still electrostatic when it falls down. That's electrostatic acceleration. The balloon is electrostatic. The air is electrostatic. It accelerates through the electrostatic air, being electrostatic, to the electrostatic ground. That's electrostatic acceleration. And it's going down to the ground to seek equilibrium so it can ground out. That's why we call it a ground, by the way. That's why we ground things to the earth and we call the earth the ground, because it dissipates the dielectricity. It effectively dissipates and grounds out the current, correct? So it's able to, let's say in layman terms, absorb it, right? And so it's going to seek its equilibrium where it can like go back to its resting state. That's what everything is. And in fact, that's when energy disappears or electricity goes away, or like everything is going back to its pure potential state, which is the counter space, the etheric background. But that's a different thing. We don't even need that for electrostatics. That's side. I know some people are going to get triggered. They're like, oh, he's talking about the ether, but I want to believe the electrostatics is like, look, man, we just ladled the gravy over here, bro. I'm not halfway doing things. Have you ever checked out Flat Earth Philosophy channel? He has some pretty interesting videos that I think are worth looking into. We had him on Glowbusters, so we did hear him talk a little bit. I haven't really got to watch a bunch of his videos. I heard where he's got the little like magnetic holography via the vortex and the central point. Which is very interesting because I really like that idea. So I will have to check them out more. I've had 3 people tell me that in the last few days, which means I think I'm probably supposed to, probably not a coincidence. All right. What's it should go on Jim Bob's stream and chat. I will for sure. I'm down to go on his stream. I don't know exactly when he streams, but I'm down to definitely talk to Jim Bob. I think he's a legend. Who is this Trish girl? What's it sits in Discord all day? He's no scientist. Not all day. I'm in Discord a decent amount of time, especially when I'm doing other things or I'm researching things to set up stuff for the stream and stuff. But why would you be here? I don't care. Doesn't matter. I will just say you can kick it for sure. But if you just type comments that hate, right? If you just type like hateful comments the whole time, then you probably won't be here very long. I'm just being honest because it just kills the vibe. Jimbo plus what's it would be great. Yeah, dude, that's my homie. He's a legend. All right, so hopefully that kind of makes sense to everybody, right? He's no scientist. I don't know anything, but how dare you? How dare you think for yourself? So I hope you guys get all that. It seems to make sense, right? So it just sets the up and down, right? And so we have equipotential increase 100 to 120 volts per meter, right? It keeps going up. And so we seemingly have a Gaussian surface above us, right? So if you have a Gaussian surface above below, it would give you exactly what that is. In fact, that's the only way to have this like equipotential increase, for it to be like, okay, so that means that there's an equal increase, right, of potential energy. And for you to have that, it's like you have to have two Gaussian surfaces, which really just goes to show you that we have a container on the earth. If you have two Gaussian surfaces, then it's going to create this electric gradient, and it increases 100 volts per meter. And so what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to show you guys a video to kind of explain this. So there's something called a corona motor, right? So it's an electrostatic motor. And it uses the electricity in the atmosphere. Oh no, we could never have free electricity. Nikola Tesla's not as smart as me because, oh man, like mainstream can't define electricity. Anytime they say mysterious, unknown, we don't understand it, it's actually because they're lying to you. That's where a lie is. You'll know like, oh, that's where we were lied to, and propaganda and indoctrination has hidden the truth. That's how you know whenever they say it's mysterious and we don't know. So you got electrostatics that claim it's virtual photons. We don't know exactly what it is. They lied about it. Magnetism, they say it's the exchange of virtual photons. They don't really know what it is. They lied about it. Electricity, they claim they don't really know what it is because it's basically like the hybrid form of those two things, which they don't even adequately ever say. And they just give you all these different layman terms and misinterpretations of it. They lied about it. Energy, they say just the ability or capacity to do work, which is what something does, not what something gives. They lied about it. Okay. And then they say the same thing about, so when they say electricity, I don't understand it, you know that they're lying. But then you have people saying, oh, Nikola Tesla's stupid, even though he said he could get energy everywhere. And he literally gave you the AC induction motor, which was perfected by Charles Proto Steinmetz, who was another genius. I know I'm really talking fast, but like I said, it's getting late, and I'm like, it's just the only way I'm going to be able to do a stream right now is to talk fast. But hey, man, run it back like a running back, you know, if you missed it. All right. Let's play this video. And dude, look, I'm just trying to share your work, man. It's been 6 years, you know, just let me share it. Don't make it weird. I think you did something kind of cool. And I'm going to show you guys an electrostatic corona motor, and it uses atmosphere electricity. And the higher you put this string up in the air, the more current you're going to get. Like the more power you're going to get to run the motor, because it keeps increasing as you go up. Now this is literally just a string tied to this motor, and I think they put it on a balloon. And yeah, check it out. And so this is like just one of the demonstrations of electrostatics. I can't give away all my home runs. This isn't just an electrostatic thing. I'm just showing you that what I'm saying is just true no matter what this guy says. And the fact he says that it's different is a non sequitur. It doesn't matter. It just sets the bias. And it's actually equipotential. And he's just making up stories about ionosphere. And I will say this real fast. So whenever he's like, oh, it goes up to the ionosphere and then it just changes. So that can't work because gravity still is gravity affects things way beyond that. Just making up fairy tales, reifying fairy tales from the government, claiming that they went above 50 and 60 miles and all this nonsense. And that he knows exactly what's there. But so this is what happened with the ionosphere. Okay. So you can look this up. Even the history, or National Geographic or History. I can't remember. I think National Geographic has a paper on this. It might actually be History Channel, like the History Channel website. So Marconi, okay, he's famous for like successful radio transmissions, like one of the first pioneers of this, right? And so he sent radio transmissions, and he's like, I'm going to see how far I can send the radio transmission out. Which, by the way, radio is just light, a non-visible spectrum of light waves, but waves aren't things or types of movement. So what is light? Totally different stream. So anyway, he sent these radio transmissions, sent them, and he was like, how far can we go? Now his detractor said, you won't be able to go like past 200 miles. He's like, well, I want to go like 2,000 miles. He's like, no, you won't be able to go past 200 miles because it'll hit the curvature of the earth. The curvature of the earth, like your signal, right? He's saying that the curvature of the earth is going to curve up, and so you'll get blocked by the curve of the earth. You won't be able to send it past 200 miles. And he's like, okay, I'm going to try anyway. And so he sent a horizontal line of sight, horizontal signal, 2,200 miles, and it hit the target successfully on the first attempt, right? So that debunks the globe. But they're like, we can't. Oh, well, there must be something going on because we know the Earth's a ball. Oh, we know it. So they said, oh, there must be this certain layer up in the air where the radio wave goes up and hits it and then ricochets back down. Because if you think about it, if you're shooting a signal off of a ball, it's just going to go out infinitely into space, basically, right? Like it's going to hit the curvature of the Earth and be blocked, and whatever goes up above that and isn't blocked, because radio waves they spread out, it's going to go off into space, right? Like, and so like basically you're going to shoot it off into space in theory, if you understand what I'm saying. So what they say is, well, oh, the radio waves went up, hit the ionosphere. They made it up. They made up the idea of the ionosphere, and then it made the signal reflect back down, and that's how he got lucky. He should have went to the casino right after, and it happened to reflect right back down to where he shot at 2,200 miles away when he was only supposed to be able to at 200 miles. Anyway, all that to say, that is the history of the ionosphere and how they came up with it. It was just an ad hoc theory to come up with something that would save the fact that the radio waves went way too far, 2,200 miles, and that shouldn't have happened on a globe Earth, right? Because the sphere should have blocked it. Actually, since then, when he actually shot one 10,000 miles after that, by the way. So he's making claims about the ionosphere, and it's just a fairy tale. And then you look it up, and it says like 50 to 400 miles. The ionosphere is super sketchy, and obviously they're just hijacking, like, seemingly. I haven't decided exactly what's up with the permeability of that area, like even the magnetic permeability or dielectric permittivity or like the physical permeability itself. I don't really know. So I can't make claims, but it looks like there may be medium differential composite or like differential in composition up there. I know I'm like kind of doing that thing, but I'm sorry. So anyway, they're just hijacking that area. So long story short, we're going to just look at, with propaganda, right? So we're going to look at this motor. It's very interesting. It's just a few minutes long, and you guys can tell me what you think. Please don't try to strike my channel for this. It's just a video, bro. Like, come on.
Hi gang, here's my Corona motor running on atmospheric electricity. There's just a wire extending up from the Corona motor high up into the air. It took a few tries and the enormous help of a friend with a large enough hexacopter willing to lift the wire up, and as you can see, it works. The motor is called a Corona motor and is an electrostatic type of motor. Atmospheric electricity isn't powerful enough to run an electromagnetic motor, the type you encounter every day. Wires connected from the earth ground to one side of the Corona motor, another wire is connected to the other side of the Corona motor and goes up into the sky around 120 meters, or 390 feet up. The top end of the wire goes to 6 sharp points made of 6 sewing pins. The fishing line, around 4 meters or 13 feet long, goes from there up to the hexacopter. That's to minimize or eliminate any effect the hexacopter might have on the atmospheric electricity. It took a couple of trips out to large fields to work out all the kinks. Here's setting it up on the first trip, starting with the Corona motor. For a ground connection, we pushed some thick copper wires into the ground, and then connected a wire between that and one side of the Corona motor. Another wire was connected to the other side of the Corona motor. That one will go to the wire that'll be lifted into the sky. The wire that'll be lifted into the sky starts out on this spool, with a hand crank for winding it back up afterward. The next step was to connect the other end of that coil of wire to the sharp-pointed part. The connection is made of this white plastic piece. Here I'm connecting a part with just 2 sharp points, but later we switched to using the part with 6 sharp points, with the theory that the more sharp points there are, the higher the electrical current will be.
I want to make something like this as well. Like, I have lots of experiments. Just I have too many ideas that I can't really do right now. Like, everything I want to do costs thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? But like total. But we're gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna build most of it so it's cost efficient. But anyway, we're gonna do this as well. We are going to really demonstrate via scientific experimentation. Oh man, are people getting triggered? Oh. We're going to provide very, very strong evidence for the electrostatic theory. We'll call it in a electrostatic world theory. but I really do want to piece it together, and I want to just, I want to do so many demonstrations and so many experiments and so many tests. Dude, it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope, and you guys will start to see. Some people are like, "This is kind of nerdy. What is this guy talking about?" Dude, you'll see the power, pun intended, of piecing this together as I start to do it. But I just have to I have to stack up funds to do all of it, and you know how it goes. But anyway, stay tuned. I want to do this as well, just more efficiently, and I have some ideas on how to do it.
Attached to the white plastic piece. With the hexacopter sitting upside down on the ground, the other end of that fishing line is tied.
You can make this using the guts of an air purifier, one that uses water tub, pretty cheap. Yeah, actually, I do believe that you could probably make something like this pretty cheap, for sure. I don't think this would be one of the expensive. And really, I'm not trying to do anything that's too expensive. Like the ferrocell thing is killing my vibe because I really want to build a ferrocell, man, to start looking at the magnetic fields. And the optical flats are not cheap, man. But like at all, like hundreds of dollars for an optical flat, just a piece of glass, but it's cut like insanely flat, so you can really see like the depth of the field and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just more so like the amount of stuff I'm trying to do. And then I'm like, ᴄᴏ_Morley is going to be interesting. But yeah, anyway, I will try to look into like the most cost-effective way, and I'll just be building a lot of this stuff. So that will make it more manageable. But that's interesting. I don't know. The guts of an air purifier. That's pretty interesting. Well, yeah, I want to make one super efficient and then show what's going on and just like test it at different altitudes and different conditions. Then find a way to really solidify exactly what the voltage is in the air, etc., from different type of quantification methods and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. Austin, why don't you go make some type of theory and publish it and get it peer reviewed and make some type of scientific achievement? If you're so smart and you think you're figuring all this stuff out, why don't you go do that? I'm going to try. We'll see what happens. We'll see. Am I going to be given a fair shake? I don't know. Austin, why don't you just get your Nobel Prize if you know gravity's wrong and you know everything electrostatic? Oh my gosh, bro. Anyway, moving on.
Tied to the bottom of the hexacopter's frame. And here we are.
You can get the glass you need off eBay. I bought a few lenses to build one too. Okay, nice. Yeah, I did think about that, but did you get the it's called like Edmund? Is it the Edmund brand? I want to look on eBay for that anyway, but yeah, I want the Edmund optical flats. And I think I want maybe 3mm. What did you use? What size did you use? Anyway, if you can tell me what size you used and exactly what you got, that would be cool. But yeah, that's where I was going to get it on eBay. I'm obviously not going to buy them new, but all right, moving on.
Are making final preparations for liftoff. And then
I believe in you, buddy. Oh, shout out to Angela. Thank you very much. The glass flats are cheap on eBay. Okay, cool.
The hexacopter hovering at just 21 meters or 70 feet before rising higher still. And then we continue rising. Notice that we're using 26 gauge enamel-coated wire. To meet the safety guidelines here in Ottawa, Canada, the hexacopter has been programmed to go no higher than 90 meters or 300 feet, which it reaches in probably under a minute. Once the hexacopter is hovering around 90 meters or 300 feet, I connect the other end of the spool of wire to the wire that I connected earlier to one side of the chronomotor. You can see there's still plenty of wire left on the spool. The cylinder on the chronomotor should now start turning, but it doesn't. I try various adjustments. I do get shocks though when I touch the high voltage parts. The smaller pinwheel type chronomotor might turn with this voltage and charge, but not this large one. We try 4 attempts altogether before all the spare hexacopter batteries are discharged, and we call it a day. For the second trip, we put the chronomotor up on a plastic crate to get any high voltage parts away from the ground. The first try is with some plastic insulated wire this time. To improve the ground connection, I pour water around the ground wire, wetting the ground. I even use myself as part of the ground. But on the first and second tries, and with all the adjusting and fiddling, the chronomotor cylinder still doesn't turn. Here's the third try before liftoff. Notice that we're using the 6-pointed part at the top of the wire for these attempts.
Oh, also, I was going to say, I could just use my drone, and then I just heard a drone. So that's a pretty good idea.
Insulated wire turned out to be only 70 meters or 2.
I think that's what it is, right? He's flying a drone. I don't actually know. I actually wasn't paying attention, by the way. I was reading my phone up. I saw this a while back. I just didn't really. Anyway, who cares?
30 feet long. So we switched back to the enamel insulated wire. But shortly after liftoff, we have a break in a connection at the spool.
Oh, good. We'll come back down. We disconnected.
On the fourth try, and with our last set of batteries, it works.
Oh. Hey! It's working.
There isn't much torque here, since a light touch on the shaft will stop it. It doesn't keep running, though. It seems to stop abruptly at times. The shock is much more painful this time. I soon realized the problem is that one of the cylinders is too close to some nuts and bolts inside at this end, and sometimes touches. Once I pull it away, it works great. That was the last kink worked out.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nicely.
Okay, let's give you lots of ground.
So why did it work on this try? Looking at the hexacopter's data afterward, we saw that something went wrong with the programmed height limits, and it had gone as high as 120 meters, or 390 feet up. With atmospheric electricity, more height means higher voltage, and possibly there were more ions at that height too. But since that's above the 90 meter or 300 feet limit, that ended the experiments with this corona motor.
Oh, I was on mute. Anyway, pretty cool stuff there. So yeah, and you can look into atmospheric electricity. I think Richard Feynman actually did some stuff on it. So yeah, this is like a pretty hidden truth, by the way. They don't pump this all over the place for obvious reasons. So yeah, I am tired. So I am probably gonna crash. I see some donations. I really do appreciate you guys. I'm gonna read them off. I got kids, so 10 is a lot to give. So keep going. Thank you, Eric, man. Much love, brother. And it's all appreciated, bro. Thank you so much, man. It means a lot. Always great vibes. Thank you, Jonathan, for the support. Much love, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words. And then it's for the president emoji. Thank you, David, for the $25 super chat. The cash chat, bro. Very generous. Thank you very much, man. Keep it up. What's it? Yeah, of course. What's the other option? You feels me? And then I saw PayPal. Thank you. I don't want to say her name wrong. But thank you, Gary, for the PayPal. It's greatly appreciated, brother. Much love. I didn't see any message on there. But thank you, man. I appreciate it, dude. Yeah, you guys are great. You guys are what makes this channel possible. I really do appreciate it. You know what they say, support what you like or it goes away. Peace, y'all. Peace out, brother, man. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up. Wrap this up like a bandage. They hating and say they can't stand it, but they still on my streams. I don't understand it. Oh, man, boss. All right. I'm tired. I'm sorry it was so late. I'm sorry I'm so tired. I'm sorry I was almost delirious. I didn't get much sleep, and then I've been up for a while, and you know how it be. But anyway, thank you guys for kicking it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like I was said, the general sentiment was the idea of it was just a chill stream. I just wanted to kind of chat with you guys and kick it. Kind of tell you guys about the stream. But like I said, you can go check it out. It's on Jeranism, J. I'm so delirious. It's so funny. JERANISM. You know, my boy Jeranism. He's got the debate with the BSMA physicist Bryant Myers yesterday, and yeah, pretty interesting. We played some of it. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. And I think we're supposed to do a one-on-one debate about gravity and the spin. I'm going to say we'll also let's integrate the ether just so we can have a full fluid conversation amongst all of it. It doesn't have to be like a real rigid category thing. If you think you have, like, we'll figure it out. We'll create a good format where it's very informative. I'll do that debate for a long time because I just think it's good for people to hear both sides, to hear things that will that are good for informative purposes, right? I mean, higher level intellectual discussion is ideal. So anyone that is an expert in their field, I would love, I'm definitely down to have a discussion with them and demonstrate to people that this whole idea of expert advice doesn't really mean anything. The fact that you have credentials doesn't mean you're right. The fact that you went into debt to get a degree doesn't mean that you're smart. And honestly, the fact that you did doesn't mean you're not smart either. It does mean you probably did learn some things. There's certainly value to it, but a lot of times it equates to indoctrination. I can go watch the MIT, just like Zach said earlier, I can go watch the MIT lectures about electricity on YouTube for free. I can go watch Stanford, Harvard, and Yale lectures for free. You can go read all these papers published. You can read on your own. You can communicate. This is 2022. You can learn all kinds of stuff from all kinds of different people. So there you go. We're going to start my Telegram chat pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that. Maybe download the app if you don't have it. I know a lot of you guys do, and that we can talk freely during the show. If you wanted to drop a link or a video or gifts or whatever, you'll be able to just drop and share information without it being censored. You'll be able to say whatever you want to. You can't say it on YouTube, so that should be cool. Shout out to the Legends and Rockfin for kicking it. Thank you very much. And you guys can go support me over at Rockfin as well as if you want to. You also don't have to. I try to keep the live streams free there. I like the content to be free. I will be checking your email because I will be sending it to you soon. We may try to do the special stream for people that helped out with the computer Sunday. Of course, I should have Globebusters at 3 Sunday, but we may try to do it either before or after Globebuster Sunday. And it'll be like a private unlisted stream where you guys can jump on. We can all talk. And it's just kind of like an OG thing for you guys helping me out with the computer. I appreciate it. So check your emails, whatever email you donated under. So cool. And like I said, I'll be setting up a P.O. box, and people have been asking. I'll be releasing the I got to cancel the Masquerade Tour subscription, which they just charged me for, my goodness, and build a new website. So I'm going to build a new website. Then you'll be able to go there and you'll be able to get the links to all my channels, all the content. I heard someone asking about the Discord. You can go to, I jump on what's called Earth Awakenings on Discord quite a bit. You can also go to 24/7 Flat Earth Discord 2.0. And then I also have something called Miswits on Discord, which I haven't started running yet, but I just got my friend to be the admin. We're going to set it up. So anyway, just to kind of wrap everything up, what we're going to have is we're going to have Discord where a bunch of people can chill. I'm going to be doing a Flat Earth debate show throughout the week. I think maybe 2 times a week. It's not just going to be debates. It's going to be friendly, respectful. We're not going to have like the crazy nonsense going on. If you're maybe interested in being a part of those conversations or being on like the panel that kind of discusses it, you can email me, or you can just go to the server, go to Miswits. We're going to set it up where you have to get brought on stage. So we'll be using it for that and sharing information, and you can catch up with us there. We'll kind of build the server. So that should be cool. Like I said, we'll have the Telegram chat coming soon. I'll set up the P.O. box. We'll have the website coming soon. And then I'm going to start probably streaming on Twitch as well. We're going to start the TikTok up. I'm on Instagram at What's It Gets It. I'll start keeping everyone updated with what's going on there. And then we're going to start doing a bunch of the experiments. Where I'll keep you guys informed with the calendar as to when my like certain streams are, when my certain debates are, whatever my schedule is, in a few weeks in advance, so you guys can keep up with it. And cool. So that's pretty much the basic housekeeping there. You can go to flatearthfestivals.com if you want to go to Flattoberfest. I'll be speaking there. I'm giving like a presentation for about an hour. I'm one of the, I think, 5 or 6 speakers this year. First time ever doing that. Should be cool. So you can go to Flattoberfest. I will be presenting. I think it's like an hour for each speaker. And then I'll also be performing. I think Kai and I are going to perform some music. Yeah, it's just cool, like-minded people. So shout out to Karen B for being a legend, setting those up. And yeah, go to flatearthfestivals.com if you think you can make it. You can get your tickets, and that should be cool. That's at the end of next month. Yeah, we got a lot going on. And oh yeah, by the way, so tomorrow night, Kai, I should have said this earlier, forgot. Kai and I are going to do a stream tomorrow where we kind of do like that conspiracy trivia thing that we did in the other stream you guys might have saw. So me and Kai are going to stream and chat with you guys tomorrow. So it should be cool. You guys maybe can see the baby bump, and we'll kind of chat with you guys and catch up. So that should be cool. You should be able to see or come hang out with me and Kai tomorrow. I'll try to give a heads up with the thumbnail posted. And that's gonna be fun. We do a little trivia game. We let the chat play with the trivia questions, like conspiracy trivia questions. I don't know if we're gonna come up with our own or find our own or have everyone like give their own, or we may use the game. I don't know that we fully decide exactly how we're gonna do it, but anyway, we'll be doing a stream tomorrow night, so that should be cool. And then next week we should really pop off with me releasing the shows. As long as I can get all the, I gotta find I'm sorry, I'm just kind of ranting, but I'm trying to let you guys know what's going on. I got to find like an affordable video software, editing software. I saw someone say that one of them was free. I tried to get it for free, and then it didn't let it be free. And anyway, I'll figure it out. I need one that's pretty good, but I heard someone say that there's some that are good that are free, and some say those aren't good. I don't know. We'll see. Long story short, I need to be able to edit the intros and stuff like that to set up the shows. And anyone that thinks that they're like gifted and has some time, I want to basically support the channel in that way, that would also be greatly appreciated. You can email me at witsit@protonmail.com. So if you have any questions, if you have anything you want to say, any information that you want to share, anything that you think you can contribute to the channel or suggestions, anything like that, you can contact me at witsit@protonmail.com, WITSIT at protonmail.com. You know, proton, the little subatomic pseudoscientific nonsense. And that's encrypted, so that should be cool. Also, I have witsit@gmail.com. Cool. I think that's about it. And then, like I said, our website will have all the links of all the different platforms we're going to stream. We'll have the schedule coming up. We'll keep an update for like the experiments, kind of what I want to get funded for the next experiment. I'll have polls going on in the community. So you can go to the community section of the YouTube. I'll start releasing polls so you guys can communicate with me what you think about what experiment I should do next. What time should the show be? Should I debate this? Or when should I debate this? Or whatever it is, because I want to just start becoming much more interactive with you guys and letting you guys kind of help dictate the show, because and the channel, because of course without you guys the channel wouldn't really exist, and that's the reason I do it, is to reach new people, and you guys are basically like family. So there you go. So like I said, What's It Gets It on Instagram, What's It Gets It on Twitch, What's It Gets It on TikTok, What's It Gets It on YouTube. I'm also on Rockfin, What's It Gets It, and then I'll release like the Miswits Telegram. And then you got Miswits on Discord. So there you go. There's a lot going on. But Kaya, like Gaia, if it's a girl. It's a girl, and her name is Aaliyah. Keep being you, Austin. You are a real one, brother. Thank you, man. Much love, brother. Nah, fam. We are family. Yeah. Any girls' names yet? Yeah, thank you. I just said one. That's what it is. Probably should have just waited for her to be here, but whatever. I thought I'd already told you guys. All right. Don't forget me when you're rich. LOL, you're the GOAT. Thanks, man. When I'm rich. Wow. All right. I'll try and remember you whenever I'm rich, brother. Thank you for signing up as a member too, by the way. Yeah, and then if you want to sign up to become a member, that reminds me, you can go down to the link right there. There's different levels. You can become a Miswit. And then we'll have member chats only. Like that stream last night was member chat only. I saw some people didn't like that, but it's because a lot of people were going to troll him. And then he has a lot of toxicity coming from I forgot the name of it. Some like flat earth server that screams at people. I don't even remember what it's called, but they just didn't want to deal with the drama, especially with this guy being credentialed. So they kind of just kept it chill and local. So we'll create some member only chats, some member only streams, and you can also go to patreon.com/whatsitgetsit. I haven't really done the big reveal of the new Patreon and all the exclusives with that, but basically what's going to come with it, from my understanding of what I'm thinking right now, is like different sneak peeks of music and different sneak peeks of certain types of videos, or a music video. And then you get a direct DM on Patreon as well. So all that's greatly supported. Anything like that, anything residual is greatly supported. Of course, so are the donations. You guys are the best. I think that I've pretty much covered everything. I'm just super tired, man. I'm super tired. I'm sorry if I seem like I'm out of it. I kind of am. My eyes feel heavy. I'm going to crash. I want to get up early, and it's already 3 o'clock. So it looks like I'm going to get like maybe 4 hours of sleep. And then I got a lot of, it's Shabbat though. So actually I'm going to be kind of chilling. So I'll probably sleep in maybe, because I forgot it's Shabbat. That shows you where I'm at. I forgot that tomorrow's Shabbat. We do have stuff prepped food-wise, though, so we're good. We have food here. All right, cool. Anyway, thank you guys for kicking it. Seek and speak truth unequivocally. The weak find contentment in the consensus of ignorance. So, intelligent people don't care what dumb people think. Also, how dare you call people dumb? Informed people don't care what ignorant people think. Strong people don't care what weak people think. In fact, you should just seek and speak truth unequivocally, no matter what, in the face of ostracism, because the weak find contentment in the consensus of ignorance. And you shouldn't be like that. You should just unequivocally speak the truth, represent the truth, because no matter what, when you get attacked, you have to understand you're probably doing something right. And in fact, oftentimes what is popular is not true, and the truth is not popular. And that's all good. It just is what it is. And just remember, look, man, you're electric. Everything's electric. We're going to piece this world together. We're going to come together, and we're going to start to figure out these big, giant puzzle pieces that we've been lied to about. And yeah, we're gonna just elevate and crush, leave the toxicity to the side. Who cares what stupid people will say? And when they hate on you, because whatever, they're gonna always do that, and always represent the truth. And I would say, like, basically, the necessary antecedent to creation is a creator, right? This place was created. There's no way to have all this order without it being put in place. Certainly, if you know what this earth is, it's stationary, which means geocentric, or the center of all things, at least as is perceived in all directions. And so it had to be placed there. It had to be orchestrated. It couldn't be random, chaotic happenstance. You couldn't take a mason jar, take a very intricate watch, rip it apart and all the little pieces, throw it in the mason jar and just shake it up, and all of a sudden it becomes a beautiful Rolex or some complicated watch. That would never happen. This place was created. All that to say, well, the creator is obviously the encompass. I don't want to say embodiment, because that's not really a good word, because there is no like physical limitation or confinement to the creator, but or it's like personification. You get it? Like it, the being of truth, like the representation of ultimate truth. So whenever I say, always stand for the truth, and when you get revolved for his name's sake, rejoice, for they did it to all the prophets before you, I can also say, always stand for the truth. That's what that means. And Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and since you've turned from the knowledge, I will turn from you. So always seek the truth, always pursue what is true and what is real knowledge, right? Because it's the glory of Yah to conceal a matter, and it's the honor of kings to search it out. And so just do that, and then don't worry about the fact that people are trying to come at you and say, oh, well, look, you don't believe in all these scientists and all this stuff. And that's kind of what this debate shows you, is that it doesn't matter if you have some type of acronym behind your name and you're a physicist, right? The truth doesn't fear investigation, and you can't fight against the truth. So anyway, there you go. Just keep on speaking the truth no matter what, because people are going to come at you. That means you're probably doing something right. If no one's coming at you or hating on you, then maybe you need to step up and start doing something more. All right, there you go. There's a very long closing. I hope this resonated with you guys. Sorry, I was kind of delirious. We got lots of good content coming. If you want to support the channel, $ What's It Gets It on Cash App, What's It at protonmail.com on PayPal, or you can go to paypal.me/innerworld. You can go to patreon.com/What's It Gets It, or you can sign up to become a member below in the descriptions. And till next time, I'll catch up with you later. Peace.
That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they simple pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock that twirl somewhere orbiting. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature to mean extorted it. They forging it. If news ain't good informants who informing them, there's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this: we porting ships important. Yes, of course it is, but extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks we ignoring, which informing this, informing this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they simple pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real?